52 people sitting here waiting for us. I'm happy to see that. If somebody could please leave a comment for me so I know that you can hear me and see me okay, or see me and hear me, whichever way you want to go there. But I'm not seeing any comments come in just yet. I got my other phone running right here so I can look at the comments. I lost it for a sec, but okay, there we go. Comments coming in. Somebody from Pennsylvania just jumped on there. Let me fire up my other phone here so I can get some chat going. My special guest is right over there. He's busy doing something. He'll be here in just a second and we'll get this thing rolling. All right, there we go. Got some all goods coming in from John Clark. There we go. All right, great. Good to see everyone. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. It's Sunday night, 7 o'clock here in Michigan. We do this every Sunday. And my name's Chris. I run Dark Blue Charters in Manistee, Michigan. Tonight, I'm not in Manistee. I am, if you look behind me, you can probably guess, maybe guess where I'm at. And my special guest is right over. He's walking over right now. Got your mic on there, Scott?
I do.
All right.
I do.
Scott Argetsinger.
Hello, everybody.
Scott Argetsinger from Dreamweaver is here tonight to talk about Flash or Fly. Last time I was here, how long did we talk?
Almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Would you do that, you know, with fishermen, you know, crazy stories?
Once we start talking fishing, it's all done. You
Yeah.
just stick a fork in me. I'll be here all night long. Yeah, so what we got going on here? Bob Hunter's here. Dennis Clement's here. Teresa Flanders here. T. Whipple. Ramiro Caparillo, I believe that says. Patrick Forrester. Steve Eddy. Terry Armstrong. John Dvorak. Mark Pearson's here as well. Good to see everyone. Hope everybody is doing well. How you been?
I've been good.
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 Yeah.
We're busy, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to get the boat ready to go.
Yeah, I hear you there. Mine is in the end stages of all the little projects. There were some big projects and there were some little projects, and I think I'm finally about there, like 2 weeks away maybe.
I'm about right there with you.
Yeah.
I just got the second coat of wax on the boat today, and
Yeah.
I got one more big project to do, and then that'll be it.
You
Should be
ready
to go.
How soon are your first trips?
My first one is in May.
Okay, yeah, mine also about middle of May.
Yeah.
Is when I start the year off, and then I say goodbye to sleep for about 3.5 months.
3 months, yeah.
Yep. And then, and then winter comes around, and then I complain that I can't be out on the boat. You know?
I'm not like you though. I don't run doubles.
No, I know.
I gave that up. That was too hard.
That'll whoop your butt. But you know what? It's there to do, and I'm happy for all the customers that come out.
Yeah.
And, you know, just absolutely have a blast. And I always got to remind myself, you know what? No matter how tired you get, how worn out you get, that customer's coming on. It's their trip.
It is their trip.
They need to have you at your best. So,
That's exactly right.
So I fire myself up every time.
You have to.
You know what? I sleep on the boat most nights.
Oh, okay.
Most nights before the trip. And I still get excited the night before. I don't know what you do.
I do
you
too.
Still?
Yeah, there's times I won't sleep at all because I'm thinking, man, I think I'm going to go here today, you know.
Yeah, you're thinking about what you're going to run.
Yep.
You're thinking about where you're going to go. And I'm just still excited about going fishing.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And then we complain about it later on.
Yep. It's like, oh, man, should have got some more sleep.
I should have got more sleep. But yeah, I always fire myself up for every
You
trip.
have to.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Keep it exciting. You know, when it stops getting exciting, that's the time to
Right.
toss in the towel.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Hopefully that'll never happen.
No. That's what I'm hoping to.
Yeah, I hope that never ever happens. But again, my name's Chris. I run Dark Blue Charters up in Manistee. This is Scott Argetsinger, Captain Scott Argetsinger. Of course, you run your own charter.
Yep.
And you're the general manager here at Dreamweaver.
Mm-hmm.
Great fisherman, great guy. Very lucky to have him as a friend. What's the name of your charter?
Mascot. Yep.
And if people wanted to book with you, how would they go about doing that?
I really don't advertise because I don't really have a lot of time to run a lot of trips. I just get a lot of like overflows from people and stuff like that. And,
okay.
I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't have a lot of time. I'm working here, you know, 55, 60 hours a week.
I know how busy you are.
And
when you told, I know you were running as a first mate with Paul Schlafly at Riverside for years and years and years.
I fished with Paul for 6 years. And he taught me a lot, and you know, I mean, it was a great opportunity to fish with Paul.
If you're going to learn from anybody,
you might as well learn from the best.
That's the guy right there. Yeah, he's the one. Like I just said last week, he's the one that really got me going when I moved up here 25 years ago or so. Just looking at the boats, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved fishing growing up, you know, whether it be bluegill or perch or bass or whatever it was. And then I saw those giant, shiny white charter boats, and I got to fight my first king, you know, back in the late 90s, and I was done. I was just absolutely done. And of course, every chance I got, I picked Paul's brain as much as I could.
And he's one of the guys that will help you.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he doesn't lie to you, you know, and tell you something different.
No.
I mean, he's completely 100% honest, and that's anybody that walks down the dock.
Yep, and he answers the phone.
Yes.
You know, if I got something going on in the morning, I can't get a bite going, and I know that he's probably doing all. If I call, he answers.
Yep.
Good guy.
Yep.
Yeah, really good guy. So, catching up on a little chat here. We got Garden City coming in from Chris Bychek, I believe that says. M. Elijah's here. Hey, good to see you, M. Jason C. Get the boat ready for the season. Yes, I hear you. Who else we got? Derek Mull, sorry. And a few others still chiming in. We got around, we got 144 people here last week. We had over 200 people watching, so that was one of our highest numbers. And that had Adam Knutson, of course, on last week from Hiatus Charter. I had so much fun talking with him. I mean, just a good.
A lot of energy.
Good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yep, good guy.
He's one of our Dreamweavers Pro staff guys. I mean, he's a mountain of knowledge as well.
He is, and he runs a really good YouTube channel also. If you haven't seen it, Reel to Reel Outdoors, I'll give him a plug. I have no problem doing that. I think we all need to support each other anyway.
Yes.
There's no animosity there between any channels that I really know of. So, always happy to give somebody a little plug. If you haven't checked it out, Reel to Reel Outdoors. He does a lot of good captains roundtables where he'll sit down with 3 or 4 captains and talk about fishing.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. I mean, you know, you want to learn something that somebody else is doing. That's a good way to do it, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be a guest down there one time with George Freeman and Micah, and I forget who the other one was, but or Adam, of course.
Yeah.
And we had a really good discussion on a lot of things. But anyway, moving on. So what we got going on tonight, I'm going to talk about the fishing report a little first because we're really getting back into that time of the year where people are getting out on the lake. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing boats out there already. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about that here in a sec. But always a couple of housekeeping things. As always, these Sunday night live streams are brought to you by Dreamweaver Lures. That's right where I'm standing right now. And happy to be here. But yeah, Dreamweaver Lures supports these every Sunday night, so thank you very much, Dreamweaver. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
And what else was I going to? Oh, also, don't forget, if you're looking to get Marine Mat, which is the Sea Deck comparable on your boat, the people here in Ludington at Custom Marine Flooring, mi.com, they will get your boat done at 10% off right now until the end of April. So I know a lot of people don't have their boats in the water just yet, but if you get in touch with them and you get the ball rolling now, they're going to give you the discount, even if your boat's not going to be ready until, say, May or June or something like that. But really good product. I'm getting it done on my boat. I'm really excited about it.
That guy's a great guy, too.
He is.
I mean, he is very nice, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, Russ.
I mean, yeah, he really believes in that stuff.
He does. Retired chiropractor.
Yep.
Very intelligent man. Very, very boat savvy, though.
Yes.
Because he told me he had been on boats really all his life. He used to run big Tierras, 40s and 50 footers, all over the Great Lakes.
Yes.
So he is very, very boat savvy. It's not like somebody's coming out that got their license, on an online course and has never stepped foot on a boat before. Because there's people out there.
There's people like that.
I know.
Yeah.
But this guy, they definitely do a really nice job. I'll put a link down below if you want to check out their website. If you want to get that done, get the ball rolling. No job too big, no job too small. They'll do everything from cooler cushions to helm mats, where you stand, anything you want.
Oh, it was crazy. The amount of stuff that he could have done. Swim platform.
Yeah, he's doing my swim platform too. All customizable too.
Yeah.
If you want your boat name routed into your my gunnels are getting done as well, which are a really nice touch. And that's fairly inexpensive. Mm-hmm. And that gunnel material is really durable.
Yes.
It's not like the vinyl padding where you get it tore up within 2 years. Mm-hmm. The gunnels, you can actually have your boat name laser, or not laser, but actually routed into the material or laser etched. Mm-hmm. Really cool. Anyway,
it looks very nice too. I mean,
it looks really, really good. Oh yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But again, that link will be down below. Yeah, it'll be down below. All right, so last week with Adam, fishing report. What do you got going on around here?
From what I've heard around here, the guys are getting out. they haven't been doing very good. I mean, unless you want to go for lake trout, if you know, if you're out for browns this time of year, the water is still very cold.
Yeah.
Last I heard, it was 37 degrees.
Right.
That is very cold. Yeah.
It is.
We need some south winds and some days like today where, you know, it was 52 degrees or, you know.
Yep.
We just got to get into a different weather pattern and the fishing will get better.
It's got to stabilize.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't have the roller coaster.
No, that
cold,
warm
cold
doesn't work.
Especially in spring. We're really any time. But, yeah, the Browns, they're not real cold water lovers
No,
anyway.
no.
Yep.
They're, you know, 42 degrees.
Yeah.
They seem to like them in the 40s.
Yep.
You know, that's pretty much what I've heard around here and up in Manistee as well.
Same up there.
You know, there's guys getting them off at piers, not in any great numbers. They were getting them about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we got them higher temperatures for a whole week. They actually did very well.
Yeah.
But then we went into a cold spell. They moved on.
Yeah, last week it really started shutting back down. But like 2 weeks ago, I'm still talking to some people up there. If you want to get lake trout, I think that's the name of the game right now. You can go out there and you control the sandbars or maybe even a little deeper, and you're going to find lake trout. So if you're looking to get out there and do something, don't hesitate. Jump out there in Lake Michigan right now on a nice calm day, or go whatever day you want. And just fish those sandbars, trolling long lines like 1 colors, 2 colors, flat lines, downriggers, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I keep normally 1 downrigger down by the bottom, 1 about 5 feet off, and 1 at about 5 feet higher than that. That's my normal stack. And then, of course, divers as well too.
Yeah, slide divers as well.
Yes.
You know, this time of year works out very well.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I never got into running 2 of them. I always just run 1.
I run singles in the spring too. Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's a shallow water. A lot of times the water is clear or clearer.
Yeah.
Because you're fishing in, you know, that 20 to 40 foot range.
Right.
You know, you don't want to get a whole lot of stuff down there.
Exactly. Yep. You're asking for trouble.
You want to get it spread out as much as you can. You know, that's where your boards come in.
Yeah.
And you'll find your boards will do very well.
Yep. That's normally the meat and potatoes is on the boards.
You know, your riggers run a longer lead.
Yeah.
You know, run them 40, 50 foot leads.
Yep.
Just, you know, make sure you stagger them. Otherwise, you will wind up with a mess.
You're gonna end up with a mess probably anyway, sooner or later. It's part of fishing. But lake trout I know up there in Manistee right now on the sandbars are doing well. Spoons have been the name of the game, and body baits.
Yeah.
Thin fins, Rapalas, and then Dreamweaver Super Slims and like Magic Man.
Green jeans.
Blue Dolphin, Green Dolphin, and the UV and the glow. Mixed veggies is always a staple up there. And the Buffalo Bill is always a staple up there. And I'm sure here also. Yeah, if you're looking to get out, there's no reason not to right now. If your boat's ready, go splash it. Go jump out on the sandbars. Slow your troll down though. I found in the spring, just slow your troll down. Get her down in the 1s. If you can get down to
1.8 to 2 is about right.
Yeah.
You know, if you're having a hard time with your spoons working at that rate, you know, like sometimes if you use a little bigger spoon, like the DW, they will work. You just have to bend them a little bit.
Yeah, a little tweak.
Yep.
We talked about that last week in the video. A little tweak in the spoon.
Yeah.
And I had somebody ask me about bending a spoon. How do you do it? And really, everybody, it's not rocket surgery in any way. Just grab it, put your your thumbs in the middle of the back, you know, the concave part, and just give it a little bend, and you'll see the difference when you throw it back in the water.
Yes, I mean sometimes it'll really start darting.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you get a fish bend in it where the fish is just destroyed.
And leave it there.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, leave it there because a lot of times that will work very well.
I had a single spoon last year that was just destroying fish, and it had a fish bend in it. You know, from just getting destroyed so many times. I don't touch that thing.
Don't touch it,
Leave it alone. The tape's hanging off of one side. It's just destroyed.
And a lot of times, I mean, that works.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I'm Dreamweaver through and through, but stinger spoons, a lot of times, if you rough up their UV, it works better.
They seem to rough up, and I'm not.
They rough up pretty fast.
I'm trashing stinger in any way. They make good spoons.
They do. I mean, their
colors are really good.
Yes, they have some very good colors, very good blanks.
But they do take a beating.
They do.
Yeah, they really do. So yeah, get out there, get some fishing in. It is time. Slow your speed down, and look for warm pockets. That's a big thing.
If you find some warm water, that's where you want to be around.
Yep.
You know, start going back and forth. Don't be afraid of changing your trolls. You know, if you're not getting them one way, turn around, go to the other, or even, you know, tweak it, go, you know, east west a little bit in there, you know, and try to. You always want to change up your troll. If you're not getting them, there's something wrong. Exactly. If you're marking fish, there's something wrong.
Yep. If you got warm water though, like Scott just said, spin that boat around. If you go through there and you get bites, spin her back around, go back the other way. And the other thing I like to do is zigzag.
Yes.
Because you get one side really ripping and one side's fluttering down, and then ripping and I get really aggressive in the spring on my zigzags because we're in shallower water. I don't want my stuff settling down on the bottom. So be careful zigzagging. Get aggressive on it, and make sure you're not dragging the bottom on those things. And like you said, don't be afraid. If you find warm water in 20 foot, work it all the way out to 40 or 50 feet.
Yeah. You never know where those fish are going to be. Yeah. You never know where the bait's going to be. Yeah. That's where the bait will usually be, is in that warmer water this time of year.
Stream mouse.
Yes.
Stream mouse, river mouse, things like that. Pierheads, of course.
Yep. Anything that's got a river water coming out or anything like that, that's where you want to be.
Yep. Food and warm water. Yep. That's what they're looking for this time of year.
Structure, you know, any kind of structure like Wisconsin. Yep. Oh, man, they got amazing structure over there.
They do. Yeah, I'm a little jealous sometimes.
Yeah. They got a brown fishery that's second to none. I mean, it's unbelievable over there.
Deer hunter want to know, Scott, any ripcords in yet?
We have the clear ones.
Okay.
No colors yet.
All right, just grabbing a couple comments here before we get going. Jason Wilkerson, who fishes down in Michigan City, Indiana, excuse me, said 50 coho, 5 kings in 2 days.
Nice. That's good fishing.
That's good fishing. Jason, you got an open seat? Give me a call. I will jump in the old Jeep and I will run around down there, and I'd be happy to fish on that Rampage with you guys. They just got a new boat.
Oh, okay.
I forget what it is. I know it's over 30, Rampage.
Those are beautiful boats.
Those are nice boats. Yep, real nice. Tuna tower, everything.
Yep.
Matt Presidents is here. Matt, good to see you. Huge supporter of the channel. He's talking to some people on here. BMK is here. Blind Osprey is here. Tim, it's good to see you. Tim first mates for me from time to time. Does a real nice job. And somebody from Cleveland just saying hi. All right. When is your fly selection going to be stocked? Ken Kipp is asking. Any idea?
Right now we're having a problem with our harnesses, with our fly harnesses. We have them tied by a couple different people, and we just haven't had any in yet. I mean, we're going through them as fast as we get them in. Right. Yeah, I mean, people just can't tie them fast enough. Right. And we got our pickled sunshine bodies are here. We just don't have the harnesses.
Okay.
But
should be soon.
Should be soon. Yeah, should be very soon.
Keep
probably this week. You know, I mean, it changes every week. But like I said, as fast as they come in, they go out.
Just keep checking back. Keep checking back. They're gonna get hooked up here pretty soon. I know you guys.
Yep.
Every year.
Yeah. Every year it happens. I mean, this time of year, I mean, we're trying to fill orders where guys are ordering. You know, there's our companies that we, or other distributors that we furnish product to. They place some gigantic orders. You know, when you're talking 480 flies or 600 flies, you know, at a time.
That drains the reserves.
That kicks it out pretty quick. Yeah. So
it'll get there.
But we try to get everything, keep everything going. I have no idea if the new paddle is available online yet, but we do have 3 of them made.
Oh, good.
So I mean, they're.
I was looking at a couple here. We're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about that here shortly. So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're on this back to basics roll right now, where we're just stripping things back down to the fundamentals, which is a good idea to do every year. You get away from the basics on these things, you start getting some crazy ideas in your head. It's not a bad idea to circle back and get back to those things that you started with. So last week was spoons with Captain Adam. This week is flash or fly with Scott, Captain Scott. Next week will be meat rigs with another special guest who I'm not going to tell you yet. And then the week after that will be plugs with another special guest. So we're going to keep this rolling the next few weeks. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's talk about flash or fly. Let me ask you this, so please, if you have questions, we're not going to be able to answer them really. I'm not going to be able to see them while we're talking. So wait till we get done. We'll open it up for an open question and answer. Ask anything you want. Yep. And if it's something we know the answer to, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. We don't know everything. That's I always say it. I'm not the best.
No, we don't claim to be the best, but you know, I mean, we try hard.
But you try hard. That's all you can do. I've never believed in the best. You know, it's such an open, vague term. You know, I'm the best at something. No, you're not. You're not. You might be one day, but you won't be every day.
Right, not every day.
You won't be.
go out there and consistently catch fish,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, you have to be pretty good.
That's the name of the game. Yep,
You
just
know,
be
I mean,
consistent.
Yep, just be consistent. And that's hard.
Yep.
There's a lot of days that's hard.
Treat people good.
Yep.
Be professional and just work your butt off.
Yep, that's all you can do.
Absolutely. All right, flash or fly. Scott, what's a flash or fly? Let's start right there.
Well, I mean, when we talk flash or fly, first thing we always go to is our spin doctor. You know, this is our blue chrome, very popular fly. You see we got them tied up with flies already. This is our blue bubble fly.
Yep.
Everybody can see that. This is our blue bubble glow, which those got back in stock.
Good.
So
Those are good
you know,
ones.
I mean, those we waited on for a long time to get these, but we finally did get them. When you're talking flash or fly, you're talking an attractor.
Exactly.
The flasher is what's known as an attractor, and you always put that. You can put it in front of a spoon, in front of a fly. I know several people that use them in front of spoons.
I've heard.
And that was.
I've heard people even do it with plugs.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know, longer lead, and all it does is just imitate your, you know, it just sits there and spins.
Yep.
And it just attracts your fish in. You know, I mean, that's
That's
basically what it is. I mean,
exactly
that's exactly what it does.
So most flashers. Somebody just sent a super chat. Terry Armstrong, thank you, sir, for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Hey, guys, gals, please, if I ever miss a super chat, if one pops up there, somebody remind me in the comments because I always want to say thanks. So Terry, thank you. Rotators, though, is another common term for spin doctors.
Yes.
Spin doctors, rotators, flashers, hoochies.
Yep, they're all an attractor.
They're all an attractor, and they all make a rotation in the water. So you're pulling these things through the water. It's not a casting method. It's a trolling method. So you're pulling these things through the water, and like Scott said, you're tying these up behind a lot of different presentations: downriggers, lead core, copper, steel, divers, of course, is one of my favorites.
Yep.
And behind that, you're gonna run flasher, fly. That's a long lead on there, Scott. So, I mean, Scott nailed it. It's a rotator, an attractor. The fly, when I first heard somebody say, hey, I'm going to run flash or fly, you know, back whenever, the first thing I got in my head, I started thinking about fly fishing. Mm-hmm. And I pictured, you know, a big fly with feathers on it and, you know, carpet or horsehair or whatever the hell they used to make those things. That's what I had in my head. But truly, the majority of the salmon fishing flies are tinsel, mylar, or some other kind of similar material.
Yeah.
And that's really a fly right there. And what they do is they slide up and down the line. They have beads behind them and a hook. And really, it can't get much simpler than that.
No.
Flasher, lead to the fly. And we're going to talk about leads. We're going to talk about colors.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. But if you're just getting into flash or fly fishing, that's a really effective method.
Yes.
I can say that is probably the majority of my bites later in the year.
Yep. Especially down deep.
Yeah, flasher and fly.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's all sorts of different sizes.
Yes.
And I got one of your 11-inch paddles right here.
Yep.
What else we got there for size?
This is actually one of our new 8-inch paddles.
I like
this. Is a new color. It's called Songen's Green Bam. It's made by Bob Songen in New York. He was one of the colors that he requested. And I mean, I haven't run it personally myself, but he showed us pictures of it, and the fish he caught on it is unbelievable.
I can tell you right now by looking at it, that thing's
That's gonna work.
It's gonna work.
You know,
without a doubt.
It's definitely gonna work. So
we got 11-inch paddle, we got 8-inch paddles, and a paddle is another word for a flasher.
Yep.
And they do the exact same thing. And of course, we got spin doctors, which is really, when I think of Dreamweaver, I think of spin doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really your.
That's pretty much what we're known for.
Yeah, and we have an 8-inch spin doctor, which looks almost like a fish shape, and again, it does the same thing. And we have a 10-inch spin doctor.
And we have a 6-inch spin doctor.
And these do the exact same thing as the paddles and everything else.
Yes.
They rotate through.
They all do the same thing. They all
Yep.
attract your fish in front of your flies.
So one of the questions I get commonly asked is, you've got different holes on here. We talked about this before. If you guys haven't seen it, Scott and I sat down 2-3 months ago now.
Yeah.
Right here at Dreamweaver, we talked for almost 2 hours. We covered a boatload of information. And one of the things we talked about was the holes on the spin doctors, because if you look in the front, you can see there's 2 different mounting holes, and then if you look on the back, there's a hole by the fin, and there's a hole on the non-fin side. Scott, what is the difference, and when would you use one over the other if you do it all?
To tell you the truth, I've never changed my top one at all.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And I rarely do I ever move it from the other side. I mean, they come pretty much the way everybody runs them. Yeah. There's a certain couple of people that think if you put it in the first or the second hole in the front, that it gives it more action. Supposedly,
be almost a wider rotation.
It's got a little different rotation from what I've heard.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, I've never changed it. I've never tried it.
Scott, you're a lot like me. If it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it. And I always run mine in the front slot also, and I always run mine on the fin side.
Like this is supposed to be more action on this side, less action on this side.
Yeah.
That's how it's explained right on the package.
Right
on the package we have, I'll grab one of those real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I've always run the same thing as you, Scott. Front hole, fin side hole. Scott's gonna grab up some more goodies. Oh, by the way, little secret here, if you stick around to the end, we're gonna let you in on maybe a little giveaway that my buddy here might be throwing at you guys tonight. Yeah. So,
figure why not?
Yeah, appreciate it.
I mean, we're here, we might as well get some stuff away. But right on the back of your Spin Doctor package, it shows how to rig these. I know we get a lot of questions. We get a lot of calls from people wondering just how to use them. We get people that ask, can you throw these off, off the pier and reel them in? Well,
you probably could.
You probably could, but your chances of catching fish on them probably was not the best.
I would agree.
But it does tell you, right, forward hole is your fast troll. 1.5 to 4.5 miles an hour, which
that's smoking fast.
That's fast for a spin.
4.5, and it'd probably handle it just fine.
And they say the back hole is when you're slow trolling, 0.5 mile an hour to 1.5. Yeah. Like I said, I've never tried it in the back hole. I've never gone that slow, so
okay,
we get stuff that slow. I mean, we're dragging stuff in the bottom.
I just cracked me up for a second. Yeah, but actually I look on there and it says the fin side, it says less action.
Yeah.
And it says more action on the opposite.
That's been a typo on here for years.
Yeah.
And we've asked them to fix it, I think 3 different times.
Really?
And
they don't do it.
If you look, this is the 8-inch package. If you look on a 10-inch package.
Has it got it right?
It's got it right.
So boys and girls, you heard it here at Dreamweaver first. There's a typo on the 8-inch Spin Doctors. Don't listen to it.
Yeah,
Dreamweaver hasn't lost their mind. They are aware of it. Oh yeah. So yeah, on the 10-inch package, it is correct. That's funny. Well, at least we know.
Yep.
At least we know. All right. I mean, I'm looking at different colors here, Scott. Is there a certain time we're gonna? Well, let's break that down even further. When do you start using flash or fly in the year?
Usually about the middle of May is we'll start running those.
Yep.
And I usually don't even start running meat until June.
Yeah.
July.
I'll throw a rig out pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, you always throw one out just to see if maybe you can get them.
Yep.
A lot of times in the colder water, those fish are deep. That's when you always run just a flash or fly combo.
Yeah.
Rarely, I mean, you can get them. You can get them on cut bait. There's no doubt about it. Most of the time, flies are the answer.
Yeah. And so about the middle of May, about the same as me, maybe towards the end of May. And then really I have flash or fly out the rest of the year.
The rest of the year.
Rest of the year.
Yeah.
Even when I'm pierhead fishing, I usually will have at least one flash or fly out someplace in the rig.
Yep. It's usually on my divers, so I usually keep them out of my divers.
Yep. Just Adam Knudsen calls it keeping them honest. And that's a great way to say it.
Yep.
Because you're going to find that one that maybe wants that presentation and didn't want anything else. So yeah, keep them honest. Don't be afraid to run a flash or fly when you get towards the end of the year. But we got different sizes, different colors. When would you say run a chrome over like a Wonder Bread?
Well, for me, I like to run the chrome in the latter part of the day.
Okay.
So from anywhere from when the sun's up, that's when I'll start running chromes.
Yep.
Usually, I like the Wonder Bread. This one, for instance, has UV tape on it. That one is good in deep water. It actually has a special fly on it for you guys.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
but
I got to get a couple of those.
But it's when I usually run that stuff, it's usually in the middle part of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I'll start first out with my glows. You know, like your white slick, your black slick. Always run those first part of the morning.
Double white crush is another really, really good one.
Anything that glows, usually first thing in the morning, until the sun gets about, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock range.
That's the white slick right there. When he says white slick, I know that it's a nickname for it.
It is.
It's actually called the white double pearl.
Yeah.
But that pearl tape on there actually does glow in the dark.
It does,
yes. So if you hear the term black slick, white slick, things like that, just understand they're talking about that pearl tape on there. You know, I'm a lot like you also, Scott. Early in the morning, double white crush.
Stuff that glows.
Stuff that even the Wonder Bread glow.
Yes.
The white slick especially is out there for me. The black slick, of course, also. And then as the day goes on, that's one thing really nice about the slicks is you can leave.
Yes, you can leave them out. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, Shane, I know he runs that all day long.
I do too. Yep.
You know, with a pickle rig, pickled sunshine fly.
Yeah.
You know, the pickled sunshine cut bait rig. They're a staple. I mean, you should have one out at all times.
I do normally, unless they're
at least somewhere.
Unless they're all broken off. So
at least somewhere.
I almost always have double slick out with a pickled sunshine fly on it. And you hear them call it a pickle rig. That's the nickname for usually the white double slick with a pickled sunshine fly on it. That's an outstanding combination. And then like you also, if the day is starting to get brighter, you know, sun's getting up high, I like getting a lot of these chromes out there to really get that flash.
Yeah, because I mean the sun does penetrate the water a long ways down now, especially because our water is cleaner now than it ever has been.
Super clear.
I mean, like we've never had problems with getting stuff on the bottom in 100-foot of water. Now we do. But now we have a slime down there. And that's what it's from. Our water's getting clearer.
Chad Kapla, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Thank you for supporting the channel. Very, very nice of you. Everybody, if you could take a moment to thank Terry and Chad in the chat, I would really appreciate it. It's very nice of them to do that. A lot of people think, and this was a misnomer for me a long, long time ago, they're thinking, dark, dark day, I want something really flashy because it's dark out. And on a really bright day, I want something not so flashy. And it's actually the opposite.
It's actually the opposite,
It is, yeah. So dark days, I like those, go back to those white paddles.
Yep.
Especially with some UV tape on there like that, or some glow tape on there.
Yep.
And I like my flies to have some glow in them as well.
Yes.
Especially in the morning.
Yep.
Yep. Because we're out there before the sun comes up.
Yes. Yes. We're always out there. I mean, you know, we try to leave the dock at 5 o'clock.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're out there in the dark. We're setting up in the dark.
Yep.
And I mean, sometimes you'll get the fish in the dark.
Yep.
You know,
sometimes.
Especially, you know, later on in the fall is usually when you get them.
It always baffles me when I got my center downrigger down like 150 feet, straight off in the morning.
Yeah.
It's super deep.
And it's usually the first one to go.
And it's the first one to go, and you know that they can't see anything down there, other than that little bit of fly going by there, and they can pick that thing up and they will destroy it.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's fun. So much fun. All right, so try to keep that in mind when you're thinking about colors, or especially glow versus flash. Really, really bright sunny days. Get a lot of chrome out there. This is one of my favorites. You got some others here that I'm sure I can grab behind you, like the Kryptonite.
Yes, that was
Dragon Slayer.
Yep.
What else we got here for really, really flash? That one we have out there. Of course, the Kevin's girlfriend is there. We got to look at that. Here's a couple. So here's a couple more of my favorites for really bright sunny days. That's the Kryptonite. It's a great, great color. They have that in the flasher, in both the paddle and the Spin Doctor. The Blue Slayer is right there. They also have a Dragon Slayer and a Mountain Dew Slayer, which is just the same pattern with a little bit of green in there versus the blue. And of course, this thing right here works all the time.
Yes.
All the time. But this one's a little unique.
That one's called Kevin's Mistress.
That's the Mistress.
Yes.
Okay.
That one's called Kevin's Mistress. And that one actually is not the actual Kevin's Mistress.
There's the Kevin's girlfriend over there. Let me grab that.
Also, guys, during bright sunny days, the UV blade actually works very well.
Yeah.
It's just a clear blade, but it is UV. If you can see the tape, a lot of times it like turns purple, and that's the last color those fish can see down deep is purple.
Purples and reds.
Yep.
Yep.
Those are the last colors they can see down there.
Yeah. And then this thing just for some reason works all the time.
All the time.
Kevin's Girlfriend, I'm sure you've heard that name before. If you watch this channel at all, that is the Kevin's Girlfriend. It's a green blade, pearl tape on the one side, so slick on one side, and blue bubble tape on the other side. That thing with a pickled sunshine,
Yeah,
green crinkle fly,
was really good last year.
blue bubble fly,
Yep.
And a few others.
There's not a whole lot of flies that doesn't work with it.
I know.
I mean, it works with everything.
Yeah, yep. That thing right there is an absolute staple. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. Big sunny days versus darker days or foggy days.
Yeah.
And
Or
remember,
darker baits for foggier days.
Yeah.
It seems to work like your whites, your blacks. I mean, those things seem
purples too.
Purples, yes.
Purple on fog days.
Yeah, purple haze is, I mean,
yeah,
that's one of Paul Shafley's #1 baits on a any day, really. He doesn't care if it's sunny or foggy.
Yeah.
He runs it a lot.
He's always.
But he catches a lot of fish on that.
Yeah, so purple haze is this one right here. Let me show that to everyone, give you an idea on it. Yeah, a little darker color, a lot of flash on the one side, and then a little bit muted flash on that side.
I mean, it's kind of the best of both worlds with your UV blade, and you got chrome tape on it.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be...
Oh, that prism on that side,
it really
so I
reflects.
got a red light over here, and you can see how that picks up the red. If I move it over there, it picks up the blue light over there. It really grabs everything.
It really grabs it all.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you'll be surprised how far down you can see that blade.
Yeah.
And it's not just the tape on it. You can actually see that UV blade in the sunshine. You can see it. It almost glows.
Reflecting off. Yeah. There's times that I bring up baits or I start putting them down and I think to myself, that's got too much flash.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see them 10, 20, 30 feet down, still just exploding as they rotate.
Yep.
Really, really cool. So that gives you ideas anyway. That's a good starting point for bright sunny days, darker or foggy days. And don't forget, if it's a flat day, that sun's going to penetrate even more,
further.
more. So adjust around that as well, whatever way you can.
And when your rough days, you know, the sun doesn't get down there as far. You know, a lot of times, I mean, that's another thing. You know, I mean, treat your rough days kind of like your
foggy days.
Your foggy days.
Yeah, darker days.
You want to get your darker baits back down there. You know, keep your white slick in the water, keep your black slick in the water. You know, your glow flies. You know, like a moo rig on a foggy day is really good behind either one of those two blades. Yeah, I mean, it would be great.
It is. Yep, excellent choice. The moo rig. He's talking about a meat rig called the moo rig, and that's just pure white glow.
Yep, with black spots.
Essentially, yeah. If you don't have a moo rig in your arsenal, get a hold of Dreamweaver. Get yourself a couple.
You need some.
You need some, and that's not a selling thing at all.
No,
it's a fish catching.
That
machine.
is a fish catcher right there, and it works with numerous colors.
Yep. All right, so we talked about colors a little. We can double back to that if people have more questions, but let's talk about size. Does size matter, Scott?
Sometimes it does. I mean, you know, people say it doesn't, but believe you me, the deeper you go, seems like the bigger the flash you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where your big 11-inch paddles come into play, your big 10-inch spin doctors come into play, even the Bigfoot. And that's one thing.
12-inch.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's one thing I forgot was the Bigfoot. So
yeah,
I'll grab one of those.
I'll talk a little bit about size here while you're gone. But Scott's already nailing it exactly right. The deeper the presentation you want to go. So if I'm fishing my center downrigger, which is commonly, almost always, my deepest presentation, that's going to have a big flasher on it. Because the deeper you go, it does get darker down there. You want something in the water that's going to get that fish moving. They're going to be able to feel that thing in their lateral lines, and they're going to be able to see it. So big paddles, I completely agree.
And that is the Bigfoot.
That is a giant spin doctor.
I mean, it is the size of our 11-inch paddle.
That is a giant spin
That is
doctor.
a giant bait. It works. Deep water.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's where it seems to shine. That's where I've caught the most fish on it, is in the deeper water.
Yeah, I'm a paddle guy. I have run some of the Bigfoots, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of success. But somebody like you, who's fished a lot, I think I just need to learn it.
There's things to this that we probably should have done different to make it run a little better.
Okay.
One of those things is this fin right here. It seems
fin.
like if you take this fin, cut it down, or even just take it off.
Yeah.
That has been
Really?
some of the best fishing I've had deep. when you're, when these paddles aren't working, your big 11-inch paddles aren't working, bust out the Bigfoot. Long lead, probably 5 feet, 4 to 5 feet. I mean, this thing makes a heck of a footprint in the water. I mean, it moves a lot. A big circle, but if you take this fin off, it seems like it works better.
Okay.
For me. I mean, that's just one of the things that I've noticed by doing it.
Hey, I'm completely on board with that. I'm going to try that. I'll grab the angle grinder and shave off a couple of those.
Yeah, I mean, just something to try. And just because it's on there doesn't mean that it works.
Well, I mean,
don't be afraid to customize your baits, guys. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like one of the first things I do, even with an SS out of the package, is I will bend it.
Yeah.
I do that same thing. We talked about that in the last video with like moonshine spoons. If you're running at a slower speed, a lot of times those bigger baits like the moonshine mags, our mags, DW spoons, don't have the right wobble.
Not always.
Don't seem to have that right wobble to it. So don't be afraid to customize it, guys. Don't be afraid to, take an angle grinder and just rip it right off. But
don't take both of them off.
Right, just the one, just the small one. Otherwise, you're not going to get a whole lot of action out of it.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, how many rigs do you have on your boat or other boats that you fished on there? Just because Dreamweaver says this is a good one, and they are. Your stuff is all tried and true testing.
It's all tried and true,
But how many boats have you been on where you see people have taken markers and added things?
And they'll add like black dots to these.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that on numerous stuff where, I mean, it's something that, we could have done that.
Yeah.
And it does change it. That little bit of black will, I mean, Paul Shafley's one of them. He has a set of Sharpies on his boat specifically for that.
I've seen him.
he changes stuff a lot.
Yes, he does.
Adds a dot here or there. I know I've seen him with this blade in particular. He puts green dots on it, and we don't offer it in the slick. We only do in the crush, but he likes the slick with the green dots.
And when you find something that works, stick with it.
Yep.
Just stick with it. I go back to that all the time. When you get to those baits that you trust, stick with them, replicate them, take a picture of them. Because I was just telling Scott here before we started, there was a time, beginning of a tournament, I had a meat rig on a spin dock that was just destroying fish all week long. And as soon as I got to the back of the boat, I was geeked up for that tournament, and I grabbed it. I didn't even hook it to the diver, and I tossed it right off the back of the boat, not hooked to anything. And I watched it sink away out of my sight. But I had other ones that I had replicated or had in my head. So when you find something that works, hey, jot it down, take a picture of it, replicate it.
And a lot of times it's the length.
Yeah.
A lot of times with flies, with cut bait rigs, I know guys that they just use our teasers and make their own cut bait rigs because they like them either longer, like them on a lighter line. I mean, don't be afraid to experiment. That's the biggest thing that we can tell you. Is don't be afraid to experiment.
Right. Yep. And so we're talking about different size spin doctors. That one obviously we like in deep presentations. You and I completely agree on that. Let's jump to the 8-inch spin doctor versus a 10-inch. When are you going to choose one over the other? What's your thoughts on that?
I usually run a lot of both.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll run a 10-inch maybe on my low, and I'll run a 8-inch on my high.
Yep.
I do that quite often.
Yep.
Until you find something that works.
Yep. Or doesn't work.
Or doesn't work.
Or doesn't work.
If you got something that's not working, just keep changing. Until you get it working.
Right.
And if you find something, and it happens a lot, where if you have a certain combination down, one thing is firing and the other one is not, you're thinking, okay, well that's not working. But you pull that one thing out and all of a sudden you stop getting bites. It happens to everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then you're like, man, what did I have on there? I changed it 3 times since then.
What was it? Right? Yep. Yeah, I'm the exact same way. If I have one thing that's really going and another thing that's not, I might try to replicate what I have down there, or I'm going to try to get something that's similar to it.
Yeah, similar.
Or I got to think about, is that on the other side of my boat?
Right.
Is this side catching more fish because I'm I got my boat in a certain angle to the current.
Might be an angle,
my speed is different.
Yep.
I usually think about those things first. But yeah, there's some days I know if I'll drop something down and if it's not working, I know it.
Yeah.
Yoink, it's coming out. And something else that I know else, is probably going to work is going in. All right, so 8-inch spin doctors, I agree with you, are all versatile, all world, all stars.
Yeah.
I mean, these things will do anything you want.
Yep.
If you want to run flies behind these, yes. If you want to run meat rigs behind these, yes. If you want to run spoons behind these, you can do it.
Yep.
I've done it. I'd suggest a longer lead. I don't know how you do it.
I usually do about a 5-foot lead behind there because that spoon needs a little bit of
little kick
to it,
Yep.
And you don't run 50-pound test back to it. Run just like what you would off a rigger.
Yeah.
If you're running 25, 20, 30, just run that behind it.
Yep.
And it'll work. I mean, I've done it myself. I don't do it very often. I did it with Paul Shafley numerous times. And one of my good friends, Doug Vanderwater from White River Tackle, he was the one that told me about it.
Okay.
And he likes to match his spoon with the spinning.
Good idea. So like a two-face spin doctor with a two-face spoon.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yep. And like the chrome two-face with a chrome two-face spoon. Mm-hmm. That's one of his favorites. I mean, he has numerous combos like that he runs religiously. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Real good point. But yeah, that 8-inch, that thing, like I said, that thing is all world. It's an all-star. You can do anything you want with that. 10-inch, I lean towards these a little, and this is just me. I lean these a little more towards meat rigs.
Yep.
They work excellent for meat rigs, but I do catch a lot of fish on flash or fly behind these as well. And excuse me, and these really start shining. And you already said this. Deeper presentations.
Yep. Deeper later in the year.
Yeah. If I'm going below 80 feet, I really start going more to the 10-inch.
All bigger stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 80 feet is normally, for whatever reason, I found to be my sweet spot. I don't know about you.
Yep.
But
80 feet.
Yeah, right about there. So bigger presentations, you start going below that 80 feet. If you're up above it, you can still work. You can still use
they'll still work.
They'll still work. But that thing right there will shine.
Yep.
All day.
I mean, I've seen 10-inch work in 20 feet of water.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean.
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily mean you have to run them deep, but they work better. They seem to work better deep.
So here's a common question that I get. Why would I choose to put a spin doctor down versus why would I choose to put a paddle down? One or the other. I can tell you my answer.
I mean, it's personal preference.
That's exactly it.
It's what you feel comfortable running. Last year I had the privilege to run our new paddle and test it numerous times. I ran that probably from August on last year, maybe even in July. We had some samples to do. And I mean, it was unbelievable, but it didn't start working for me unless the fish were deep.
Okay.
Like 80 feet and below.
Yep.
That's when the paddle seems to work best for me.
Yep.
Like I used to have the Black Slick with Silver Addiction fly, which used to be a strong fly.
That's a good fly.
That is a very good fly. That combo I had on a paddle on Paul's boat that went down every August. I mean, when the fish were down at 70 foot, I'd put it down. I mean, it was the first thing to go every day.
Yep.
That was the first bait I brought onto Paul's boat.
And that was a paddle?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the more part of my answer is it really is a personal preference.
Yes.
If you have confidence in that over that, run that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your boat, it's your program, you do what you want. And if you're catching fish, who's to say you're doing it wrong, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's it. It's your boat, it's your program, do it your way. Build your confidence with what you have. There's nothing wrong with that. And if I say this is my way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
As long as we're both catching fish, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
Who cares? But I will say, if I start going to that deeper water again, I do like some of the paddles.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's the flash or the motion or whatever it might be.
And I tried them both ways. I tried our new one with the fin up and the fin down.
Mm-hmm.
The fin up makes it run more like a spin doctor, so it rotates more.
Mm-hmm.
Without the fin, it runs more like a paddle, where it's got just a nice flow action
Big
to
sway,
it.
yeah.
And, it does rotate too,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very, very small.
Yeah.
Rotation. Or,
Smoother.
Smoother.
Yeah, smoother.
It's not as erratic.
Yeah.
But it's more of more like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Paddles do make a nice smooth rotation in the water, where a spin doctor actually makes a little thump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I think that's why they work so well, because when they flip over as they're rotating, they'll actually climb, thump,
Yeah.
climb, thump, and that's a great attractor because
Yes.
fish feel that stuff too.
Yep.
They're not just looking and smelling.
Yeah, they feel it. Yeah,
They do.
the vibration in the water is huge.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of like your Impalas,
Yeah.
husky jerk, stuff like that, all have rattles in them. Mm-hmm. It's for the vibration sense, and that's what these do.
Yep.
They have a lot of
And they hear
vibration,
it,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't run husky jerks for browns because they rattle.
They rattle.
And
yeah.
browns seem to, and then I talk to some people that's all they
That's
run.
all they run,
And they
yeah.
love them. But again, that's personal choice.
Yeah, personal choice. I think the rattle in shallow water like that spooks fish, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we've been neglecting this little one here.
Oh, the little fella,
the
yeah.
poor thing. What are we using this for? We
That is
talked
pretty
about
much-
spin doctors, paddles, baby spinning.
That we pretty much just use for cohos.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, everybody I know runs them for cohos. You can catch kings on them as well, but cohos is by far what people use those for.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Early spring,
early spring, late fall.
late fall.
Yeah. That's when you want to run these.
Yep.
And you can run them off of cores, you can run them off of coppers, divers, downriggers, you can run them everywhere.
You name it. Yep.
And it's just, have the same action, the same rotating action.
Yep.
You run a little bit smaller lead on your fly on those, a little closer.
We'll talk about leads here in just a second. I know we're getting there. But yeah, springtime, I've caught several lake trout on these things.
Yes.
They will gobble these things up.
We actually have those in chrome now.
I wonder why.
There's reason for that.
Good old lake trout strip. But that actually begs a really good question is, what is there a certain style or color that one fish likes over the other one? I mean, when I'm thinking of kings, they'll basically chase anything.
Yes, and I think lake trout are the same way.
They're super aggressive.
Yeah.
Yep. But I do know lake trout like flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
The more flash, the better. Seems like anything chrome.
Yes.
If it got anything chrome on it, it'll work.
Yep. And I mean, just for example, your double chrome
I got it right here.
is like you talk about lake trout fishing, and the staple of lake trout fishing spin doctors is the double chrome. Scott's gonna grab one right here, and it's just what the name says. It is chrome on both sides. I mean, that is a lot of. You can't get much more flash than that.
No. And I mean, and I know guys that use that, guys in Manistee, that use that offshore for steelhead. I mean, they catch a lot of steelhead on them.
Yep.
Just with like a green crinkle or a pickled sunshine.
Yeah.
Just a plain chrome blade.
Well, there's nothing saying that there's no rule book to start with.
No.
And if there was, I'd probably toss it anyway.
Yeah.
But there is no rule book. I mean, there's nothing to say you can't run that for a king too.
Right.
Because I'm sure I've never done it. I don't know why I haven't, but I have no doubt it would take a king.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt. Yeah. So I say really kings will chase anything.
Yeah.
Lake trout will too, but they do
They
tend
do
to
a lot of flash.
They do like a lot of chromy, flashy, things like that. Looks like a big disco ball going through the water.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into leader links because that is a very common
That is
question.
a
And it's very subjective too,
Yep.
because some people say it has to be 24.2 inches, it has to
Yeah.
be 22 inches, it has to be such and such. But there's general rules of thumbs with these things.
Yep.
So let's start with the big one there, Scott. If you'll talk about your leader length.
All right. I do my leader length at 5 feet with paddles. Always have. I don't know why. I mean, I experiment with a lot of different
That's a fair answer.
a lot of different leader lengths.
Yeah.
That was the one that worked best for me.
Yeah.
And if you look at this going through the water, that is a big piece of equipment going through the water.
it is.
Makes a lot of noise.
Yep.
It makes a big circle. And I think a lot of times the further back you go from your flasher, the slower your fly will go.
Definitely.
So I think with these big paddles, yeah, it's a great big attractor, but I think in the end, your fly is going a lot slower.
Yep, I completely agree. And if you think about it, those deeper paddles are down there in that colder water. The fish are going to be a little more lethargic, probably off the bite.
Yes.
And so they're not looking to chase something down that's really whipping
Yeah.
through the water. They're getting lazy.
They want
at that
something
point.
slow.
And so he's absolutely right. That paddle's making giant rotations, and 5 feet behind that fly is just making a nice little darting action. Now,
Yeah.
I'm with you on paddles too. I'm just a little bit shorter. I'm probably 36 to 40 inches. Mine is my belt buckle down to the floor. Yours is the center of your chest down to the floor.
Yep. Mine I put right here.
Just below your neck.
and the hook touches the floor.
Yep.
That's what I do. I mean, I got crazy ways to measure stuff, guys.
Yeah, I say we got calibrated limbs and
I mean,
everything.
you know, it's all stuff that works for me, and that's why I continue to do it.
And we talked about this before the show.
Yeah.
If it works, stick with it.
Yes.
Because you're going to know if it works.
Yeah.
And you're definitely going to know if it doesn't work. So.
And just because it works for me doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you. It might not work, but it's a place to start.
There's no.
And there's a lot of people that we get questions every day. We get phone calls every single day on your leader length.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what pound test should I use? I mean, we get that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people do not know.
Yeah.
You know, they pull it out of the package, and ours comes with pretty much a standard 36-inch leader length.
Yep.
And, I mean, we do that because it's good for either a 10-inch or an 8-inch.
Yeah.
Good rule of thumb, 3 lengths. That was what we were taught from when I was young.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, really.
That is the starting point.
That's a good starting point for anybody.
So what he's saying is your leader length would be generally 3 times the length of your flasher, which for an 8-inch would be about 24 inches.
Yep.
Yep. And of course,
For these, 33.
Yep.
I mean,
10 to be 30.
Yep.
But I do like you do as well. I have ways of measuring my leaders that have proven to me that they work. And there's no bigger proving indicator that 2 things can do the same job.
Right.
Yours is a long lead, mine is a little bit shorter, and they both catch fish.
They both catch fish.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't go below probably 34 inches on a big pad.
No.
I mean that you're starting to shorten it up and choke it down too much.
Yeah.
You're gonna get way too much.
I think it's too erratic. I think for it to work.
And there may be somebody out there that's watching this going, "No, you guys are idiots," because I do that all the time, and it works great.
And it works great. If that works for you, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's more power to you.
Yep. Absolutely.
Don't change what you're doing just because of what we tell you.
Because us 2 knuckleheads just mention it.
We know what works for us. It might not necessarily work for you guys.
Exactly. Okay, so 10-inch. How do you measure your 10-inch?
Same way. I do my 10-inch. I do the three length rule on that, and that I usually hook the fly on the very back, just like that, and I'll just wrap it around
3 times.
3 times.
Yep. For me, 10-inch, I'm a little different, but I'm sure it's about the same. In fact, I can tell you it's exactly the same. I go from out to my fingers to the middle of my chest.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if that's pretty darn... I mean, that's exactly where it is.
It is where it is, yeah.
That's exactly where it is. So,
And I tied that. So.
yeah. So my arm is calibrated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't really see what I'm doing there. It was off camera. But what I do is I just grab the fly like that. I stretch it out until I get to the middle of my chest. And that's my 10-inch length.
Yep. And that's my 8-inch length is I hook it right on the end of my finger, just like that. And it goes right to here.
To your top of your side of your shoulder right there.
It's the same one every time.
I'm the exact same way. In fact, I know I learned this from you years ago.
Yep.
Mine is the fly to the top of my shoulder, so you can see. I mean, it's the same thing.
Pretty much the same way.
Yeah. So when I'm out there, when we're running and gunning, I don't have a measuring stick on the boat or a ruler or something.
No.
Figuring out my lengths.
It's just quick. It's just easy. I mean, that's why we do it.
Right. Now, if you do want to get super technical and break it down to fractions and decimal points, more power to you. That's great. There's a lot of people out there that do that. But for us, this seems to work pretty well.
Yep. Works great.
Yeah. The big thing is repeat.
Yes.
When you get something going, say you're measuring your flies like I just did or like Scott did, and that's working for you. Repeat. It's
Stick with it.
It's
Stick with
all
what
about
you know.
That. Yep. I've said this before. The last thing you really want to do is get out there in the water, and you're having a bad day. You got a couple bites when nothing's really going. I think the worst thing you could do is dig down at the bottom of your dusty tackle box and find the one thing you've never used and a fly that you've never used and put them together and you throw it out there and you think, well, that's going to catch fish.
Yeah.
Because I've never used it.
I've never used it.
Yeah.
A lot of times that doesn't work.
No.
Go back to what you started with in the morning.
Yeah.
A lot of times that stuff you start with in the morning will still work later in the day. Not all the time, sometimes. But that's a good place to start. Go back through your rotation.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're like me, I change baits about every 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's not working, that's what I do.
Yep.
I don't, I don't mess around. Just keep changing until I find something.
And I'm usually running through the things that I know are proven work, because I'm not going to be a mad scientist and grab a couple things, just cobble it together and check it out.
Right.
I'm going to circle back to what Scott was just saying there. Go back to absolutely what was working for you. We got a visitor?
The tree guys.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to touch on something right there that I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, circle back. Go back. Oh, that was it. King bites. Start in the morning. Go for an hour, hour and a half. Sun comes up, they turn off. Mm-hmm. That second bite, they're going to want lunch, probably 10:30 to 12 o'clock sometime.
Yep.
That's when you really want to circle back to that A-game stuff. Yep. That stuff.
Put down the stuff you know catches fish for you.
Yep.
That's what you want. You don't want to, like you said, dig down to the bottom of the bin.
Brush the dust off something there.
I've never used this before. Let's give this a try.
It's got to work.
It's got to work somewhere, And you're not necessarily saying it's not going to work, but a lot of times it will not work.
Probably not. I would not stack it up against the pickle rig.
Right.
When the bite comes back.
When the bite comes on, just stick with what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with what's working for you. That's the biggest thing we can tell you.
Yeah, and that was a big learning curve in tournaments.
Yeah.
When that bite's going to come back on, be back on your spot where you got fish earlier, and get back to the baits that you know are going to work for you. Yeah, really, really, really good information. So, paddle, 34 inches at a minimum. Mine is about 38 probably.
Okay.
Yours is 5 feet.
Yep, mine's about 5 feet.
Yep. So, it gives you a couple of options right there. 10 inch. Probably 30 inches would be your minimum. 28 to 30 inches is your minimum. But the way I'm 6 feet tall, so mine is, my fingertip out to the center of my chest. 8 inch again, my fingers to the top of my shoulder, and that's right around 23, 24 inches. So that's a good.
But a good rule of thumb is just 3 wraps around.
Yep.
That's what we were taught from a young age.
That's what I learned.
From when we started mating on boats. That's what the captain would always tell us. This is what you tie it at. This is how you do it.
Yep. Great. Great.
And if you fished with a lot of guys like we have, I'm sure you fished with a lot of different captains in your day too. You pick up stuff from every single
one of them. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes open.
Yep, that's it too. When you're just starting out, you want to find out as much as you can about
everything.
Everything.
When I go fish with people still. If I go on Paul's boat, I'm eagle-eyeing everything. Yeah. He's watching me eagle-eye everything and probably hiding stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go on other people's boats, grab some little tidbits here and there, things that you can take back home with you.
There's always something that somebody does that you do not do.
Always.
That you can use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on a charter.
You know what? I tell people
that's
all the time.
A good way to learn your basics. And any good charter captain will tell you exactly how to do it.
Yeah. And there are some charter caps out there that they frown on questions.
They do.
They want to get out there, get the job done, get back into port, clean the fish, have a nice day. Thanks for your money. I hope to see you next year.
Right.
A good boat will allow you, but always ask.
Yes.
Always ask. But Scott absolutely nailed this one. If you want to get ahead of the curve, if you really want to start learning things, grab 4 or 5 buddies, put in the money, and go out on a good quality charter, and just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch. And always ask before you get there. Do you mind if we ask questions? Do you mind if we try netting a fish? Do you mind if we try setting a rod? Most of the time, I'll say yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every time.
Questions, I'll always say yeah.
Yeah. Questions, you're going to get those no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's always the same ones.
Yeah.
What's a curly Q thing at the end of the diver rod?
Right.
We get that every single
every
trip.
day. Every day.
We always joked on Paul's boat we were going to have a list
of common questions,
of the common questions
FAQs.
And the answers. And we've never done it, but it would be cool if to do.
Dude, get on there to ask questions. So now, if people say, "Hey, do you mind we net fish?" I got to ask them a couple questions.
Yeah. Have you ever done it before?
Have you ever done it? That's the big one.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it? And let me show you how to hold the net. What you're kind of looking for. That kind of thing. I don't mind.
The biggest mistake that people make, especially on a boat that's trolling, is they just lay the net in the water.
Yeah. And it
you just
billows
can't
back.
And that's one way to get your fish lost every single time.
Yep. That's topic for a whole other video right there.
Yes.
Whole other video. And never let the guy who's had 6 or more beers try to net a fish.
No, because they're gonna miss.
Number one rule.
They miss every time.
Never let that guy do it.
You know, they're at least a foot or two off every single time.
They dangle it on the side.
Yeah.
But
Or they'll spear it right off every time.
I've done that too, though. I've done that too. All right. Great info so far. Let's talk about the flies a little bit before we open this up for Q&A. We talked about beads earlier, and Scott, you're just like me. What comes in the package on most Dreamweaver flies is a set of 4 beads?
Yep, 4 beads. They all glow.
Yeah.
Every one of them glows. The blue, the green, the glow. I mean, everything glows for us. You know, I mean, the old saying is, if it doesn't glow, it doesn't go.
Exactly. Now, I'll be honest, Scott, the first thing I normally do with the Dreamweaver fly is I cut it off, I tie a different hook on.
I do too.
And I put different beads on it. I'm just being honest.
Yep. I do as well. I actually run our beads. I do not like our hooks. It's one of the things that I've wanted to change for a couple years, but it's hard to find a hook that's affordable for as much as we do. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, for this hook is not a bad hook by any means.
It's a VMC. It's a good hook.
It's a good quality hook. It doesn't bend. My personal thought is I've never liked red hooks. That is my biggest thing. I've never liked red hooks. I've always been a silver or black. Black nickel is my favorite.
Black nickel is mine.
My favorite hook as an owner.
It's a good hook.
I mean, they're sharp. They're proven. That's what's worked for me. That's what, you know, the VMC vanadiums, they used to be the #1 hook. That used to be my absolute favorite hook to use. That's what used to come on the strong flies. We're a vanadium hook. The only thing with those, they don't bend, they break. That was
little brittle.
Yep, they are very brittle.
The VMC Spark Point 4X hooks, and when I say 4X, that means it's 4 times strong. I think these are 1X.
Yes.
1 or 2X.
Yep, they're 1.
Those VMC Spark Points were by far the sharpest hook I ever used. Super, super tough. And because it was so excellent, they discontinued it.
Yes.
I don't know
why. Yeah.
What a great hook that thing was. And they weren't cheap.
No.
You know, they're in the range of 80 cents to $1 per hook.
Yeah.
Which any quality premium hook is going to get you that.
Yes.
Kamikatsu, Owner, Stinger.
Yep.
The high-end VMCs are going to run you that kind of money. But they will pay you back in durability. And they will pay you back.
They'll definitely get you more efficient about it.
They will. And, you know, whatever reason, you know, Dreamweaver uses these hooks, to be honest, I don't know.
Yes.
But
it's a price point for us.
Sure.
I know that's the biggest thing. It's hard to find a quality hook that, you know, that'll go with everything.
I appreciate your honesty on that.
I mean,
I truly do.
I mean, I don't, you know, that's why, I mean, that's why we change our hooks.
Sure.
I mean, that's exactly the reason. Now, Shane, he runs that hook. He runs it all the time.
I know
He
lots
said
of
he
people
doesn't.
do.
Yep. He said he never changes it. That's his preference.
Let's see if I can get a little thumbnail grab. It'll grab a little.
Yep.
I mean, that is a real good test of a hook is you stick it onto your thumb and you try to drag it across the nail, and if it bites like that one did just there,
It's a sharp hook.
It's a sharp hook.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not that they're not sharp. It's not that they're not a good hook. It's not our personal preference.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back again, I think, to fish what you trust.
Yes.
And I think you're absolutely right. Shane's absolutely right. And if you don't know who Shane is, he owns
Dreamweaver. Yeah.
So, I mean, if Shane trusts it, I trust it as well,
Yeah.
of course. But it goes back to your personal confidence thing.
Yep.
I still have, lucky enough to have a bag of about 100 of those spark points that I picked up years ago. And I still have them. If I break one off, I cry.
Yeah, right.
I lose sleep at night. But luckily, I still have some of those. But when you find a hook that really works for you, stick with it.
Yes.
Yeah. And those are some really good ones. So Owner, Stinger, Kamikatsu, high-end VMCs.
Yep.
Size 2 hooks on your flies.
Yep.
Do I ever run anything else? Yeah. I mean, occasionally I'll run a size 1.
Yep. And that's actually what comes on ours is a size 1.
Are these 1s?
Yep, those are 1s.
I thought they were 2s back in the day, but okay.
Yep, we've always I think it was we used to use eagle claws back in the day.
Yes.
And that was a number 2.
Okay.
For them. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, size 1s are I'm a size 2 guy, but obviously size 1.
I use size 2 as well.
Yeah.
I use a size 2 vanadium is what I use.
Now beads. We could spend probably hours talking about beads, Scott, honestly.
There's people with references to the faceted beads versus the glow beads.
UV
Yep.
versus color.
Yep.
Versus everything.
I mean, it's
everything.
You know, it goes right back to the same thing. It's personal preference. What you feel comfortable running, what you know caught fish for you.
And that not just color, but also size.
Right.
Because I run all 10 millimeter.
Okay. You run bigger beads.
I do.
These are 8s.
You run 8s also?
Yes, I run 8s.
Yep. I run 5 10 millimeter beads.
Okay.
And it's always for me, not always, but most time my bottom 2 are green.
Okay.
And my top 3 are yellow.
Okay.
That's my typical bead setup. Now every now and then, and we talked about this earlier, is I like having a glow in there also,
Yeah.
like a glow white or something.
I did that on one of these right here. This was a very good early in the season last year. This was actually one of our best ones, which is a green crinkle, and there's a glow bead in the center of that.
Right in the middle.
I got 2 green beads and a glow bead.
Yep.
And then back to 2 greens.
Yep.
That one glow bead in the center, it just gives you an offset of color.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that little bit of stuff like that that the fish might be looking for.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I put it on like that and it started working. And I ran it all year like that.
If it's not broke, don't
fix it.
fix it. Yeah, and I ran with one captain. Well, you know Jake.
Yep.
Jake loved to, he's going to probably shoot me for telling people this, but he'd love to have a red and a blue bead.
Yeah.
Not glow though.
Right.
Facets.
Faceted, yeah.
Yep. Usually someplace in his bead mix. And
Yep.
that worked really, really good too.
Yep.
Especially if you think about your bigger paddles where you're getting down to those colors. Have some glow. But like we talked about, those darker beads, like the blues and the purples and the faceted
Yep.
and things like that, those reds,
Yeah,
can really,
reds, yep.
reds can really stand out.
Even with the greens. I mean, I know numerous people that run green and put one red bead.
Yeah.
Either one up from the hook or right by the hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just an attractor. That's another attractor for
So,
you know.
I mean, we circle back to this. If you're trying to come up with a rule for beads, have some glow. I
Yes.
mean, number one, have some glow.
Yep.
Whether it be all glow or not, have some glow. And really, past that, experiment. I came up with my color combo that works for me because it worked for me. Just one year I started doing that. I really liked UV is what I mainly run, glow UVs.
Yep.
And it just really worked for me. And so I've stuck with it. With you, it's the glow in the middle.
Yep.
Something you really like.
I really like the glows.
Yeah.
I do run faceted ones as well. I actually went through my beads this weekend. I got too many. But I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you don't know what's gonna work.
You don't.
You know, so
Yep.
and with us being charter captains, our job is to catch you guys fish.
Yep.
And that's the
entertain you with our
biggest
song
thing.
and dance.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we want to catch fish more than you guys do.
Truly.
Most of the time. I mean, it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and if we're not catching fish, we get frustrated.
Definitely.
But, you know, it's one of those things you got to just keep going.
Yeah,
Keep
so,
going.
I mean, here's your answer on beads, and get something that works for you and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to experiment with whatever comes on your paddles or your spin doctors or whatever. Experiment around. And if you just want to run stock, really there's nothing wrong with that either. I know a lot of captains that run just stock rigs.
Yep.
And they work.
Yep, and they work. They catch fish.
They do.
That's why we put them in a package.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, that's why we do it.
Because they work.
Because they work.
Yeah. Now going back to what you said about being charter captain, keeping people happy. George Freeman, who runs Freestyle Charters right here in Ludington, is good captain.
Great captain. You know?
He said something to me one year that has stuck with me forever. He said, "Chris, you know what? Nobody wants to catch fish more than us. We want to go out there. We want to fill a boat, but your customers just want to have fun.
That's it.
And
Yep.
and
if you can make it fun for them,
Yep.
that's a big
And
thing.
fish are a bonus.
Yep.
And
Yep.
don't get me wrong, we want to catch you fish, but we will work our butts off to make sure you have fun
Yep.
as well. If I got to dance in the back of the boat, I don't know if I'd do that. I might. Do that.
I don't dance,
I don't either.
but, you know,
I
that's
dance
not me.
badly.
I know one thing me and Paul used to do is, you know, if my side was working or his side was working better, you know, we'd be like, oh, that's 2 for me, you know, none for you, or, you know,
Right.
better get your side working, you know, I got
Right.
5 on, you know, that
Well,
kind
why
of
don't you
stuff.
steer the
But,
boat?
you know,
Steer
but a lot of times that's what it got to do with, you know, is the current's just right for that side of the boat.
Yep. And somebody just asked a question here that I wanted to answer. Adam Cluck, I believe that says. My eyesight's getting bad. Where do you get your beads? I get mine from Purple Taco.
I get ours from D&B.
Okay.
D&B Fishing. They've been our bead supplier for, geez, as long as I've been buying the beads, 10 years. Probably I've been buying beads from them guys, Kathy and Darren. Great people to work with. If you look up D&B Fishing, they have everything you can think of to make lures.
Yep. And then also you can check out purpletacoflysupply.com. They have a jumbo selection of beads and tinsel. And if you want to make your own flies, I have a video on this channel. Hop on there. It's the first video we ever made. You can learn how to tie your own flies, get all your stuff from Purple Taco, get all your beads. Go out, and you know what? Nothing's more satisfying than making something and go out and catch a fish on
and getting over to work.
Yeah,
I love that. That was my best thing for fishing. I mean, that's what gives me the best feeling ever.
Yep.
Is to create something. Like if I go up to the paint shop and play up there like on a weekend or something.
Right.
I mean, I'll come out of there with 40, 50 colors.
Right.
And I mean, if I catch a fish on one of them, man, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. I love to see that.
Especially if you got kids, sit down with your kids. If you're going to tie flies or paint spoons, let them help you and then take them out fishing and watch the look on their face when the thing that they made with you catches a fish. You will never have to ask that kid to go fishing again.
No.
They will go. They will go every time.
Yeah.
Spend time with your kids on the water. You never know when
they're our future guys. I mean, you know, take your kids.
Heck yes.
Get them off their phones.
Okay, so somebody's asking what size beads. Again, the Dreamweaver come with 8 millimeter.
Yep.
I run 10 millimeter. You can get both at Purple Taco Fly Supply. It's really your choice. Okay, so let's open this up now for Q&A. We've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes, Scott.
Man, it doesn't seem like it.
I know. We got 215 people here. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for being here right now. Let's open it up for Q&A. Dave Stanchevsky wants to know, can Dreamweaver offer 4 packs of fly body only special captain's pack? Maybe a Tangle Tackle or someplace else he's asking.
We have 3 packs of our discontinued flies. Them are the only ones that we do in packs, but we will sell them individual.
Okay.
If you call and ask, we will sell them
just
individual.
The bodies.
Yep, just the bodies.
Okay.
Yep.
I hope that helps you out there, Dave. That's a good question.
Just call and, Beth usually answers the phone. She's great to work with. She'll help you with anything you need. Mm-hmm. If you guys have any questions, it's either me or Shane that'll talk to you.
Leroy Dowding's on here from Purple Taco.
Love Leroy.
How you doing, Leroy? Good to see you,
I got my order, Leroy. It's great. Thank you very much for getting it out so quick. I know you're very busy.
He does do a good job.
He is a great guy to work with. We worked with him for years as well. He's always the one we've got our stuff from.
Somebody's saying you can go on Amazon and get 8 mils for like $4 for 100 of them.
Mm-hmm. You can go to Walmart. Sure, you can go anywhere and get beads.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
really.
It doesn't. They don't have to be anything special for.
But I'll throw this out there also. Support the people that support us.
Exactly.
Please, Purple Taco is a huge supporter of this channel. If you can do anything to help this channel out, support the people that do support us. It does get us to bring you more videos like this one. It helps us do that. Okay, who else we got here? What is your first rod in the morning followed by what? Outside to inside? It's a good question. Mine is normally, I run port side on my boat. I go high diver, center downrigger, corner downrigger, low diver, long lines.
Okay.
And then my mate is doing long lines first.
Okay.
So we're not both letting long lines out at the same time. Yep. So you're not tangling
stuff up.
So I go high diver, center, corner, low diver, long lines. He goes corner, long lines, divers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do my corner, my high diver. As soon as my rigger goes down, go to my high diver. But that's going out, I'll start letting out a long line. When that's, get that pretty much done.
It's almost a dance.
My high diver is ready to be clicked into place. Yep. Then I'll start my low diver, put the board on, send that out. It's different for everybody.
It is. But when you find what works, stick with it.
Yeah.
That's what works.
But usually my rigger is usually the first thing down with the probe.
Yeah. That's on my other side. It's on my starboard side, and my mate gets that down right away. You want to know what your speed and your temp is, without a doubt.
Yep. That is very important. Your speed and your speed is very important. Of anything, if I could have nothing but one thing on my boat, it would be a fish hawk.
Oh yeah.
I've
said that so many times. You take If you told me I could keep one piece of electronics on my boat, it would be the fish hawk.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be except the radar.
You got a radar.
Yes, but yeah, you can take my fish finder, you can take my sounder, you can take my whatever else, my radio, but leave me my fish hawk, please. From Walter Gawkey, when tying a double loop knot, do you cinch it down tight to a small loop, or do you leave a larger loop? And what size snap swivel? What is the size snap swivel that comes with a spin doctor?
Those are actually size 6s.
Yep.
On both ends now.
Yeah.
And our new swivel.
Yeah. To answer your first question there, I usually cinch mine down to maybe it's an inch and a half. I don't like my loops to be ginormous. Get it down a little smaller. That's for me. And now Dreamweaver has these new swivels. So instead of having to run that double loop knot through the swivel loop and then back around, essentially making a half hitch, now they have swivels that you just open up.
And actually put them right on.
Put your fly right on.
This is your front swivel. This is your back swivel. We did that because we did get a lot of questions about, or we got a lot of feedback. Why don't we use a curly Q swivel on the back of them? This is one we found worked the best for us. This having just a second clip on there worked great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wanted something a little bit better radius right here. That was a big thing for us this year, was changing our swivels.
And it's a huge game changer. I can't say thank you.
Our other ones they're almost pointed. They almost got to be pointed.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed to bind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Definitely.
But, I mean, especially on our paddles, they always,
Definitely.
you always had to take a pliers and kind of,
I actually went to a bead chain
Yes.
in front of my big paddles because you would get binding sometimes.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep.
Where these ones, it took that all the way. I mean, they're super strong. They're 150-pound tests.
Yeah, those are game changers.
They're very good.
Here's a good question. What size or what pound test on your leaders?
All of our flies are tied to 50-pound big game.
Yep, same here. That's what I use also. I know some people swear. You know what? I got a poll out on this channel. If you look into our community section, there's a poll out right now asking which do you like better. What's your favorite flavor, fluorocarbon or non-fluorocarbon? Some people say you got to use fluorocarbon on your fly leaders. I'm the opposite. I use mono, and I think I have just as much success as fluoro.
The reason I don't run fluorocarbon, I pretty much I don't run it on anything anymore.
I don't either.
It's because it gets brittle.
It does.
If the sun gets to it, if it's cold, that stuff gets brittle.
It does.
It's not as forgiving as mono is.
No.
Mono has at least a little bit of stretch in it, and that's what kind of you want. You want that little bit of stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. If you overheat a knot on fluorocarbon, you're gonna have a weak point. You'll never know it until it breaks.
Yep.
And it won't last long. Now, if you're a floral person, that's great. More power to you.
Yep.
I'm just always curious to see what everybody has to say. So if you got a second, jump onto that poll. Leave your answer down below. I think we were at 120 votes or so.
Oh, wow.
That's just a day old. And,
Okay.
And I think we were at 60-some% mono, and then the opposite, which would be 30-some% floral.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting to see what people like.
It is, yeah.
And if you got a reason you love one or the other, leave a comment down in that poll. I would love to read it. I'd really appreciate it. Andrew Bowman, what's your advice for a first-time salmon fisher? Just run. Run.
Oh boy, yeah. Don't do it.
No, don't say that. Get a pile of money and set it on fire.
Yes.
No.
Salmon fishing is one of the most expensive sports there is.
So addictive.
You have to have so much stuff to catch fish. I mean, it's not like perch fishing where you can go out with just a single hook and a wiggler and a sinker and go catch perch.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff
Costs money.
It costs a lot of money.
Now
Your boat setups are pretty extravagant. I mean, you can get some. Wow. I've seen some unbelievable stuff for trolling.
Absolutely.
I fish a lot down in Mexico, and I mean, their stuff down there, they're about 10, 15 years behind where we are.
Oh, wow.
And if you have somebody like me that goes down there likes to catch fish, I go down every year with a bag full of stuff just for them guys.
I love it.
I mean, and it's a lot of the stuff that we use here in the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But my bet, probably the the best answer to that question would be to go out on a charter.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
See what, I mean, like I say, get a bunch of your buddies together. Most charters, 600 to 750.
Somewhere in there.
I mean, you get 4 guys out there, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
4 to 5 guys.
Yep.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's like going to a football game.
Yeah.
It really
I mean,
is about the same amount of money.
Yep.
After tickets and food and everything else and travel, but
And ask questions.
Yeah. Yep.
Find a reputable guy to go with and just ask questions. That's the biggest thing you can do. Go to places like Captain Chuck's, Tangled Tackle. They'll point you in the right directions of
Certainly.
the lures that are working.
Yep.
But if you don't know how to use them, that can be a problem.
Also, just tune into this show because we try to bring you as much information.
Yeah.
I have guests on like this commonly or often, and so I mean, this kind of information that Scott can provide, my other guests, and sometimes even myself, can be really valuable as well. And I try to get you a good fishing report every week. So if that's something you like, hey, I appreciate you checking out the channel. Maybe even subbing, that would be cool. I never bet. Some channels I watch like, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm like,
Yeah.
that drives me nuts.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, if you want to sub, please feel free. If we're helping you, feel free. If you don't, I'm not going to lose any sleep. We're still going to be friends. We're still going to be friends. I can guarantee it. And then again, I mean, we're talking about high-end getting into the sport.
Yes.
I mean, you can dump millions of dollars.
Yes.
But you can squeak in also with a 14, 16-foot boat.
Yep. I did it for
A
years.
couple of manual downriggers. You find those for $100 a piece, online.
Yeah, usually on eBay or something like that. You can find good
Couple
deals.
diver setups. There's gonna be a couple $100 more per.
Yep.
And a couple long lines, like a 5-color and a 10-color.
Yep.
And
10 color is a staple out
It
there.
is, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if I was to pick any one core to run every day,
10.
it would be a 10 color.
Well, it's got to be. Yep. And
That seems to run right in the sweet spot, that 50, 60 foot range.
Yep.
I mean, it's perfect. That's what I would do.
And I'd get a 10 and a 5 or a 10 and a 300 copper.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those are super good.
Yeah. Or a weighted steel.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to try some weighted steel.
I am too. Yeah, I am too.
Thanks to you.
Let me. Yeah, you're welcome. Any thought on engineering a paddle release like they do out in the Pacific Northwest? I've had people ask me that more and more lately, and
We have gotten questions about that.
yeah,
And we have not looked into any of that stuff. It's one of those things that we don't know that much about it. And for us to go into that, we'd have to learn a lot more about it. For what we do, it doesn't, we don't require that for the fishing that we do. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's something that we wouldn't get into.
right. Yeah. I had people ask me, how do I set my boards? Do I set my boards to release or not to release? And I let my boards stay the way they are. I
Yeah.
actually like the way it helps handle the fish.
Yep.
They got a lot. Say I'm on a 450 copper and I got a 28-pound king on there. That's a lot of weight in that water. That board will actually help you tame that fish down.
Yeah, it'll actually help tire that fish out.
does.
And if you got somebody that is new to fishing, that gives a lot of slack,
Mhm.
that board will help.
It's like a big spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
That board will help keep that
Yep.
keep that line taut.
Absolutely. Now, if you set your boards to release, more power to you.
Yeah.
There's still
I
there's
used
a
to do that all
there's
the
a learning
time.
there's a learning curve to both.
There is.
There
yes.
really is. But
And
yeah.
I mean, if you can get it to release, a lot of times you either have to use like a rubber band or something like that to keep it in place, or put a speed bead on to keep it from coming down and beating the fish to death when it comes to the boat.
Yeah.
And that's something I like having it. I use lock jaws. I mean,
Yep.
myself, I do not use the Ninja board.
I love the Ninja boards.
I mean, a lot of people do. I have not changed over yet.
And again, but you're old school.
Yep.
You're using what you grew up using.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've liked the church, walleye board, and I am not affiliated with church at all.
You will be now.
But it's one of those things. It's a personal preference. It goes right down to personal preference.
Yeah. Yep.
I've run the Ninja board. I do like them, but not enough to change.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. No, I jumped on the Ninja boards. I haven't looked back. I absolutely love them.
Yep.
And they're so ingrained in my head now that I couldn't go back to probably a church board or something.
Right. Because one thing I do like about the Ninja board is they pull consistent.
Good. Really, really good.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything pulls consistent.
Well, Steve Eddy wanted to know, what about 20-pound floor on flies and why not? I think 20 pound, you're really risking a lot of break-offs.
Yes.
A lot of torque and tension. Say you're behind a diver to begin with, there's a lot of tension right there. The fish has to actually release that diver. You got a snubber right behind the diver, which does help. But then you got that big spin doctor or a paddle, a fly, a meat rig, something like that. Or fly we're talking about. 20,
Very correct.
20 pound is, you're scooting it down to a place I wouldn't be comfortable at. I would say minimum of 35.
Yes.
30 to 35.
Yep.
Minimum. But I'm much more comfortable at 50.
I think actually, I think a lot of my flies in my boat are tied with 30-pound maxima.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, that stuff it's a tremendous line. I mean,
yeah.
I've used that a lot for.
Really soft line, isn't it?
Yeah. You almost use it for Downrigger cable.
Yeah. That's all right. Hey, good question though, Steve.
Yes, yeah, very
good question. What was my top flasher last year? Oh, double slick.
Yep, the white slick.
And Kevin's girlfriend. I had two 30-pounders coming into 2 different days last year. Both were on a Kevin's girlfriend. Both were on pickled sunshine flies. So you can't argue with that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what else we got going on here? Somebody says Dragon Slayer was their best last year. That's a good.
That was a very good blade, especially early on in the year.
Jason Alfred says this is a great episode for a beginner like him. Jason, thanks for being here. That's what we try to do every week.
You know, I mean, any questions you guys have, please feel free to ask. It doesn't matter what it is.
How many flashers on a 6-rod spread from Jordan Harris? Depends on the time of the year.
Yep.
Depends on how deep you're fishing. There's a lot of variables there.
A lot of variables. Usually on my diver, I always have a flasher.
I do too.
It doesn't matter if it's, spring of the year. I always have at least one of them out just to keep them, like you say, keep them honest.
My high divers always have flasher fly. Almost always. Not always, but 95% of the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Just depends.
It depends on the time of year. Early on in the year, don't get all set up with flashers. A lot of times, it's all spoons. When the water's cold, it seems to be in more spoons than it does flashers. I mean, I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, I do.
It's it's always been like that.
I agree completely. Yep. Robert Hayden wants to know what's the ideal rod length for Downrigger as far as length, action, things like that. I have
Again, personal preference.
I have 8.6s.
That's what I have as well, and I know a lot of guys use 7s.
Yeah.
7.6s.
I've used 7s. I didn't like them.
And they say they do it if you're on those shorter rods because you can control the fish better, which you probably can.
Yeah.
And I've always had good luck with 8.6s. That's what I've run ever since I can remember.
Yeah. Akuma makes a really good, and what's nice about Akuma and Daiwa, they actually make rods that say Downrigger on them.
Yes.
The Daiwa Wildfires I picked up 2 years ago, and they were like $17 a piece. They're 8.6s, medium heavies. I beat the holy you-know-what out of those things, and so have my customers, and they look as good as new still.
Yep.
And they're still going strong.
I run the Akuma. I used to run Blue Diamonds for the longest time. I ran the 8.6 medium action, and now I run the ones that Great Lakes tackle, but I can't remember. GLTs?
GLTs.
Yeah, them are the ones I run now. I like those because they have a triangle foregrip on them. That I mean, for customer wise, it's a little bit more comfortable.
Yep.
The rod doesn't seem to do any twisting.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I do, and I think everybody else out there knows as
Yeah.
well. I've met 2 people ever that say they don't like those triangle foregrips.
Oh, wow.
2 out of the thousands of people I talked to.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to really like them. I really like them. Let's move on here and see what else we got. Somebody saying support your local business. Absolutely, Jason.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talking about Purple Taco, what great people they are.
Yes.
Yeah, give them support. Really, anybody that supports this channel, please, if you're going to gravitate towards getting gear, gravitate towards the people that support this channel. I would really appreciate that, like Dreamweaver, Purple Taco, Costa Sunglasses, Big John Sports, things like that. I really appreciate that as well. That, again, helps the channel keep going. Let's see what else we got here. If you're going to add one more rod, would you add a 300 steel or a copper 350 or 400? If you don't have a 300,
put a 300.
Get a 300.
That is probably a very good staple to have.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be adding and I don't run copper. That's one of the things I do not run.
I know you run leg core.
I run the Suffix 832. I I think it runs better. I run a 12-pound diameter, if that makes any sense to you guys, and I've caught 35-pound fish.
That's exactly what I use also.
That stuff supposedly has a 35-pound break rate. I've never broke it on a fish.
No.
Unless it's got a bad spot in it that I didn't notice.
No, I've actually put that thing down on the floor, stood on it, and tried to break it. And
you can't break it. That Suffix 832 is great.
Great stuff.
But it runs a little deeper. That's one thing I have found.
It does.
Is that the micro lead runs a little deeper than your regular lead.
I add about 5 feet onto what I would normally think a 5 color would be 25. I add 5 feet. Normally with that 832. Yep.
That's a good rule of thumb. You add just a couple more feet.
5 to 7 feet for your deeper ones, maybe even 7 to 10 feet.
I mean, with a 13 color with a plug, I've hit the bottom 90 foot of water.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's really good
for a 13 color.
What was your speed? Do you remember?
2.2.
Yeah, that's really good. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Somebody's asking. I just lost here. Dave Stanchevsky wants to know: does DW have a new smaller plug coming out soon?
We do have a new smaller plug in the works. We probably will not see it this year. I haven't heard too much about it lately. We've been trying to get out our new paddle, and I don't think the new one will be out this year. If it is, it'll be out late in the year, probably in August.
I was just looking. We're talking about that new paddle. In case you didn't know this about Dreamweaver, so this is their normal paddle. You can look on the back here. No fin. Now it has a pop-up fin, which I am in love with.
Yes,
love that.
It works very well. Like I said, I had the honor to run that almost the entire year last year from July on, and it caught a lot of fish for me.
Leroy Dowding, head check out Leroy. If you're still here, have a great night. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully you'll be here next Sunday also.
Thank you, Leroy, for everything.
Bill Gerlach wanted to know, what did we have behind that Coho mini spinny?
That is just a plain Mirage Coho fly. It's a number 34. 634 is actually the part number for it. And we have 6 Coho flies, I believe.
Yep.
And
no beads.
No beads on
2.5 inch fly, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Coho, or also called peanut fly.
Yeah, peanut flies. Yep. And you can take any fly, guys, and just cut it pretty much in half.
You can. That's exactly what I do.
That's what I do with like pickled sunshine and stuff.
I do have a video on the channel showing how to tie peanut flies. It's fairly easy, but it's even easier to just take your good flies.
Yep. Just chop them down.
Snip them, and
a lot of guys do that for lake trout.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, I'm not one of them, but a lot of guys do it.
A lot of guys thin their flies too.
Yeah.
Start taking some of the meat out of the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think all the Riverside used to, right, there's just a couple flecks of green in there. It seemed to work better.
Somebody said that, and this is a question I commonly get. So I showed that right there, and it looked like the skirt is on backwards because the thread is showing. Now, honestly, that is backwards in the truest sense.
Yes.
But that's the way I run them, and it's the way you run them.
Yeah, that's the way I run them as well.
Most other captains I know run them that way also.
Yep.
So I don't know if you really want to consider that backwards still, because it seems to be the most common way that people run them.
Yep.
That's a very common question I get, though. It's a good question, too.
Yep. And you can run them either way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually designed to run the other way. They're just more poofier.
Yep. Yeah, they definitely billow more.
Yeah.
Something about that action, though, just that dart through the water.
Yeah, it seems to do a lot better. And that red, for some reason, that red showing always works.
Here's another question I've heard a few times. Somebody, if I can see what that says, something Jada 85 just purchased a 10 color. Can he clip the board on the lead core?
Not recommended.
Do not. Do not.
You can do it. I've seen guys that only run out, if they're running a 5 color, they lost maybe their 5 color, and they'll hook it on there. It is not recommended to do that. That will pretty much ruin that part of the lead core.
It'll wear it out. Mm-hmm. I've had people ask me, if I make a 20 color lead core setup, could I run 7 colors out, put a board on, and then have it out, or can I put a piece of mono in between each color? Really, that'd be the better way to do it.
That'd be the better way to do it, but you're kind of defeating the whole.
Well, and also you're going to have, say you're running a 5 color, you got 20 more colors behind. Think of the bow that's it's going to be dragging in the water.
Yep.
I highly recommend if you're going to have multi-setups, make them individually.
Yes.
So 5, 7, 10, 13, whatever you want to have.
Even if you don't want to have all the rods, just have your reels set up.
Yep. Yeah, highly recommend that. I know it costs more, but you're going to be much, much better off.
You'll be a lot better, yes.
Yep. Yeah, somebody else just, Matt Presley say, don't attach it to the lead core.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. That pretty much will weaken that lead core in that one spot. A lot of times you'll break the lead in that area, and it's junk after that.
Yeah. So somebody just asked, can we run those peanut flies for lake trout? Absolutely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that buy just the Mirage fly.
Yep. John Kepich asked, that's a good question, John. Bill Gerlach says, thank you for answering his question. And what else we got going here? Just bought a, this is from T. Whipple, just bought a Fishhawk X4D at a silent auction. What is a good general speed, if there is one, at the ball? 2.0 to 2.2 would be my
that's mine as well.
Gut feeling.
Last year, for some reason, they wanted it a little bit hotter where I was fishing. I mean, I fished up at Onekama, you fished out of Manistee.
Right.
Seemed like 2.4 to 2.5 was better for me.
And you can actually get the best of all worlds by zigzagging too.
Yes.
Because your inside boards will be slow, your inside rods will be a little slower. You'll get the best of both worlds by doing some zigzags.
Yep.
And if you find that everything's hitting on your outside boards on a turn, they're going faster. Bump your speed up a little. Yeah, definitely.
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Yeah, thank you very much. Who has?
You'll like that X4D to actually get your speed at the ball plus your depth at the ball. That's huge.
Yep. Yeah, T. Whipple asked that. That was a real good question. When you use lead core, this is from the Jada 85 again. When you use lead core, do you have to put it all the way out, all the core out to fish it properly? Yes. Yes. Definitely. How much, when you get to the lead core, it's all the way out, how much backing do you put into the water?
Probably 30 feet. I actually hold the rod up a little bit, and when that lead core touches the water, that's when I flip it.
That's almost exactly what I do. As soon as my lead core hits the water and disappears by maybe another 5 feet, right there.
And that way I feel you do that, you get actually the depth that you're supposed to get. A lot of guys I know run it right as soon as the, Paul's one of them. He runs his right as soon as it gets to the lead.
Yeah, and clips it on
and clips it on. You know, as soon as it hits the mono backer, he'll clip it right onto there.
And I've seen the opposite guys let it out another 100 feet.
Yes.
Thinking they're going to get better depth, better whatever it might be.
And I don't think you do. I think it develops a belly.
I think it could. Yeah,
I think it does at certain speeds, but I don't,
For me, it goes back to what we talked about. If it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it.
Yep. This is what I've done for years. Yep. That's what I've always taught people. And I mean, I've taught a lot of people how to fish out there, and I mean, it works. And it works.
Danner 6644 rather. Average depth for spring coho salmon. Thank you for all the videos. Thank you for watching. Average depth. Ooh.
Well, that varies. It's all got to do with water temperature again.
Probably more on
water
the high
clarity.
Side.
Yeah.
But that's. I would recommend highly, if you're going to go coho fishing, say down in like Michigan City or any place down St. Joe, call down some of the bait shops. Yeah. Or stop at the fish cleaning station, see if you can just gather some
Talk to people at the dock, find out where they're fishing. Yep. You know, if you're down by, Benton Harbor and stuff like that, stopping at Tackle Haven. Those guys, I mean, they're tremendous. I've known them for years. Great people.
Yep. Target Catfishing wants to know, do you have any flies that are darker in color, like blacks and purples as a main color? I actually do on my videos showing you how to tie flies. There's some recipes. There are actually, one's called a purple bruise, another one's called a purple meringue. There's one called, I forget what that other one was. Three Rivers has a lot of black in it. There's a lot of good flies that do have darker colors in them. Absolutely.
Dreamweaver does not.
No.
We used to have a black fly, and it got discontinued.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was black and green, I believe.
T. Whipple says thank you. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And what is the weight of my Downrigger balls? That's a very personal question. Larry Sherbs.
And that is, again, personal preference.
I go 14s on the corners.
That's what I have.
16 on my chute, 14s on my corners.
Yep, that's what I have as well. As I run 14 to 15 pound on my corners. I don't have a chute on my boat. My boat's only a 25 footer. So. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've run 14-pound ones. You seem to get the best direct. You want your ball to be straight up and down as you can.
Right.
That's your basic. That's why they weight them like they do.
You got to have the downriggers to be able to do it. The right downriggers.
Yes. There's certain ones that will not pull a 14-pound ball, like the old Big John Captain packs. You get over a 12-pound ball and it struggles.
They will now. They've upgraded them.
They've upgraded them. Yeah.
Big John Brutes will pull up anything. I think to 22 pounds.
Yep.
And I know some people have gone 25.
Yeah.
The Magnum metals will pull.
They'll pull
a car off the bottom of the lake. Probably.
I don't think they have a limit.
They're amazingly strong. The new Big John Downrigger that's hopefully coming out soon is going to be comparable to that as well.
Okay. I have Vector, PDSs on mine,
Vectors.
And I love those Downriggers. They're what the Magnum metals are now. Same guy, but yeah, I've never had a problem pulling a bigger ball.
I'm trying to think of the other.
Like the Cannons, they're up to
Cannons
25.
Yeah.
Like, Trax Tech.
Trax Tech, that's what I was trying to think.
They're 25 pounds.
Yep.
Most of them now, they're all equipped to run that bigger ball.
Oh, that was the fly I was trying to think of. TD Schlout, thank you. The blackjack fly on my recipes. That blackjack fly is stupid good. That was the one I was trying to think of. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't think I ever
Feel
did.
free. It's a 4-color fly, black. There's some red, some glow, and another color. It's eluding me, but yeah, it's a good fly.
So it's like the.
Do I run? It's a lot like.
Like a car crash.
Yeah, it would be. Also, like.
Actually, like my red Mamba is like that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Do we run cowbells ever? Yeah. The biggest time I run cowbells is when you got big waves.
Yep. The rougher the better.
Yeah, because they won't rip through the water. They actually won't surge on you because it takes so much to get those things spinning. They'll actually troll nice and smooth. They won't rip through the water when you're coming down a wave.
Yeah, if you're trolling for lake trout, when it's rough, definitely put a set of cowbells out.
Yep. Somebody says, Steve Brakowski, I believe. I see a couple of spin doctors on the wall behind you that I haven't seen in any stores around the Dreamweaver website. Any idea?
There's a reason for that.
Any idea?
Most of these spin doctors behind us are all of our custom ones that we've done for numerous shops.
Yep.
Yeah, there's these ones are mostly all discontinued now.
Yeah.
There's a selection of baby ones that we've done. Like all these ones up here we used to do for a reel shot.
Yep.
There's some that we just play with and they look cool.
Lance's Two-Face, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got glow on this side.
Yeah, I do like that one too.
Yeah.
That's good looking spinny right there. So I guess the answer would be no. I'm sorry to say.
It would be check out your local tackle shop and see which ones we did for who.
Yeah, because otherwise they would have to purchase in a large amount to get those custom colors. Yeah.
And right now we're not doing any customs. We are so busy. We're way behind.
Steve Eddy wants to know max ball weight on a Captain's Pack Electric. I think it's 12.
Yes, on the old ones, yes.
I think it was 12, but it'll probably pull a 14.
It struggles.
The
clutch slips. I used to have those on my old boat.
I did too on my old one that I had.
Yeah. And they struggle to pull a 14-pound. You'd burn the clutches out by the end of the year.
Mark Buchholz wants to know a shoot cone or planer board or no. I don't, and the reason is because you're asking for trouble. When you're running,
you want to be able to get that out of the way
quickly.
Yeah.
And if you get a crazy, shoot rigger bite or corner rigger or even a low diver, it's coming right up into that thing. Now, if you're not running many lines, maybe that's a good option.
Yep.
But for
a lot of times that works. I mean, like a 400 down to shoot, it works.
But for somebody like us that's running 13 to 15 plus rods,
we don't even play with that option anymore.
Yeah. I'm sorry, in my eyes. Ramiro Capertillo, I believe he says, is his name. What about different types of flies like the Bug Eye versus Howie versus Dreamy?
They're all good. I mean, they all have their place. And it comes right back to the same things, personal preference.
And they work.
The Howie Green Crinkle is probably one of the most famous flies on the Great Lakes.
Yep.
I mean, it's that fly alone. I mean, I wouldn't be able to guess how many they sell in a year,
Oh, without a
but
doubt.
I'm guessing it's got to be upwards around 5,000 to 7,000.
Easy.
You know, it's
Easy.
like us with the pickled sunshine. That's our #1 fly.
Yeah. And if you look at a lot of the flies, the best ones out there are going to be very similar. Say
Yes.
like the Dreamweaver Pickled Sunshine. Look at the KRW Riverside.
Yes.
Same fly.
Yep.
Truly
Same
is.
exact stuff. Yep.
Different bullet head.
Yep.
But the same material, same fly.
Yep.
Then you go look on the Howie Fly website, and you'll see a lot of flies that are, if they're not exact, they're real
They're
darn
real
close.
close, yeah.
And why do you think that is? It's because they work.
Yep.
People are going to take a good idea and go with it.
Yep.
So whatever brand you might be loyal to, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm Dreamweaver KRW through and through, and my own flies. But you know, if you're a Howie Fly guy and it's working for you,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
great.
I have, I have Howie flies in my boat. I have Rapture
I
flies
have
in my boat.
Raptors and I got a couple Howies.
And I mean, just the green crinkle is pretty much the only Howie fly I run.
Yeah.
That one and Bullfrog.
That
I mean,
Rapture Oceana is
that's unbelievable.
Stupid
The
good
Genie Rapture. Oh my
that's
God,
that's a really good one.
That's a staple behind a Kevin's girlfriend.
Yes, it is. Is that the one that's got the little rubber arms?
yes,
Yeah, I got a few of those.
Yeah, green with black flake.
Dave Verstow says, love this channel. Dave, thank you very much for the support. Voltage issues, any stray voltage issues with downriggers, Ryan Art, we've talked about that in the past. That's a whole different topic. If you think you're getting voltage off your downriggers in the water,
there's a ground problem.
there you got it. Check your grounds. And if you can't find it, you can switch to braid.
Yes.
The last thing you want is voltage output from your downriggers. We've had that. Do we ever run sliders on my downrigger rods? I imagine you're talking about free sliders.
Yes.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
Free or fixed.
Bob Pringle asked that. Yeah, oh yeah, that all the time.
Yes.
There's hardly a day goes by.
Especially when you're steelhead fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a staple when you're steelhead fishing.
Yep.
Always run a slider. You know, and if you're running the different, I don't know if you've covered that, but the difference between a fixed slider and a free slider you can put on after the ball's already set.
Yeah. Yep.
And you just throw it on a line with a swivel, and it'll go right down to about, they figure about half.
Yeah,
wherever the belly of the line is where it stops, or where they figure. A fixed slider you can put anywhere on there.
What's that Dreamweaver? Is that the Alberta Clipper?
Yes.
That's a free slider, fixed slider.
We used to do the action stacker, and we had too many problems with it.
Yeah.
But that was by far my favorite.
T. Whipple, thank you for the super chat, my friend. That's very generous of you. I really appreciate it. That goes a long way to helping out the channel. One of the things I got to start looking at is getting a good laptop, so I'm not staring at my phone like this when I'm trying to do these live feeds. I got to make some investments. But T. Whipple, thank you very much for supporting the channel. It's very nice of you. Let's see. We're going to wrap this up here pretty quick. So if you got any more questions, please throw them out there now. Jordan Harris said he just spent a ton of money at Tangle Tackle. Now he needs a couple of spin doctors and pickle flies.
All right.
You can't go wrong with
Can't go wrong with that, you know.
RSJ says match the hatch and tweak to your area of water that you're fishing. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Match the hatch is a common term around here. It just means that you're matching what the fish are feeding on. If they're feeding on giant alewives, run big spoons. If they're feeding on gobies, run some darker spoons. You know, whatever works or whatever's in that area.
Whatever you're fishing, you know.
Yeah, you don't see many gobies in a king.
No, not very many.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a goby in a king. Let's see here. Dave Verstow says, nothing better than his 29-year anniversary and dinner watching Tangle Tackle.
That's a good anniversary right there.
Dave, your priorities are out of whack, man.
My wife would probably kill me about that. But,
I'm kidding, man. Thank you very much. That's very nice. You tell your wife I said hello as well. And congratulations on 29 years.
That's very good.
Yeah, well, I hit 22 years in May.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I know, it's gone by so fast.
Mine's going to be, I think it's 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time goes by. Quick. Time goes by quick.
It does.
Let's see. Yeah, we're just we're gonna wind it down right now. So if you got anything else, throw it in there real quick. 300 copper, lead core, weighted steel, all the above.
Yes.
All the above. If I was gonna pick one though, I'd go with 300 copper. Just or a 10 color. It's toss up between those two.
Yeah, they're about the same. I mean, they run around the same depth.
Yeah, absolutely, really good producers.
Again, it's personal preference. Like I said, I do not have a copper rod on my boat. I just never liked the weight of them. It always wore out the customers. I never really liked them.
Jordan Harris just said a joke. I've heard this joke before, but it bears repeating. So if your wife is mad at you, buy a fishing pole. She'll still be mad at you, but at least you'll have a fishing pole.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
I said there's an old joke. If you want to know who loves you more between your wife and your dog, or your husband and your dog, lock them both in the trunk of your car. Wait 2 hours, let them out, and see who's happy to see you.
Yeah. Definitely gonna be the dog.
Oh, how close can you run each Downriggers together? How close to each other can riggers run? My basic rule of thumb is no more or no less than 8 to 10 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, you're asking for trouble.
Because you don't know where the current is down there. You don't know how your lures are going into the current. So yeah, probably at least 8 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
8 to 10
8
feet.
to 10.
Yeah.
That's usually what we run,
You can get by with maybe a little closer in the spring, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're still.
But it's one of those things. It's a pretty sticky situation. If you're running shallow water, you could probably run them a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Depends on your lead length as well. That's a big. That's a big thing too. Is your lead length?
You're asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You are. Guys, gals, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to subscribe, feel free. Again, I'm not gonna twist anybody's arm to do so. Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a blast.
I almost forgot about the giveaway.
Oh, the giveaway. Thanks, Scott. What do you want to do? What do you want to give away?
I was thinking, seeing how we took the time to put all of these paddles and spin doctors together, we would just give them away.
That's a great.
Why not?
That's a great.
Why not? They're proven. Every one of these have been a proven
catcher.
Catcher for us. So
producer.
It's a good start for somebody. Chris can do whatever he wants for the giveaway.
Yeah. What we'll do is like we've done in the past. When this video is posted to YouTube, don't do it now. You'll break the internet. We did that before and we broke YouTube. When this video posts to YouTube, so once it's done, pick a number between 1 and 1,000. The first person to get the number right, or the person that gets closest to that number by next Sunday, you're gonna get the giveaway. What are we giving away? What are you giving away? What am I'm saying me like I'm doing something.
Oh, you are.
I'm not doing anything.
We're giving away 3 of our new paddles.
Oh God, I love those.
We got these are the 3 colors we have built right now, which is this one, like I say, is the new Song and Bam. Great paddle. Supposedly, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I've never run it myself, but it looks like it will catch fish.
I can concur.
I have no doubts it will catch fish.
That'll catch fish.
Paired that with a green Mirage fly. Great. It'll work. It'll work.
This one I'm a little jealous. I'm wondering if I can get this giveaway because I would love to have that BAM, but I would also love to have this Wonder Bread combo because I know that this isn't readily available to the general public.
That fly is a fly I made for fish on bait and tackle, and I think I made it 2 years ago, but that fly works very well. It is a Wonder Bread fly, hand tied by me.
It's a good fly.
With materials from Purple Taco, I might add.
Absolutely. Good fly. I mean, you even got the matching Wonder Bread.
Even got the matching beads to go
with
it.
On there. I'm putting this in my pocket. That is a good combo right there.
I might have another one upstairs.
That's cool. So we got that. We got the blue over blue with the blue bubble glow fly. That's going in there. That's a really good.
That is a very good fish catcher. We have Kevin's Girlfriend new paddle paired with the green crinkle with the 2 different colored beads. That will catch you some fish.
Sure, definitely will. It's caught fish in the past.
Yes.
Quite a few times. The 11-inch green jeans paddle with the green glow fly, I believe that's called. Is that
yes, that is a green glow, yes.
Yeah, that's a great morning fly.
Yeah.
On a deep paddle, that thing right there will get you some fish.
Even though we didn't tie it up, the white slick with the pickled sunshine. This is one of our last remaining pickled sunshines we have in stock. But you guys are going to get it.
Lucky you. All right, like I said, pick a number between 1 and 1,000. Don't do it right now. YouTube will ban me for life. Wait till it posts. So like 10 minutes after the video's over, pick your number.
Throw the Bigfoot in. What do you
Throw
think?
the Bigfoot in. Oh,
we're going to throw this Bigfoot in there too, guys.
man. Okay, I'm gonna have my wife get in this drawing because I want this stuff. Yeah, so pick a number between 1 and 1,000. First one that gets it wins the prize. We'll let everybody know who the winner is next Sunday. Don't forget, next Sunday we're gonna jump into meat rigs. Scott was great flasher fly information tonight. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Last week was spoons. If you haven't seen that, watch that. And we'll see everybody next Sunday for meat rigs. We're out. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you.